Good morning, everyone. Hello, welcome. I am a little bit early today. Little bit. Only a little bit. It's like 6 minutes early. So, how's everybody? Ali Stitchy Fingers is here. Good morning. And Jessica says, and good evening. We had snow today. Good grief. Schnee. Oh my gosh, schnee. Oh, I've just had an email saved on live, so that's good. I am wearing my orange Rifle Paper Company Primavera dress, and I love it. I'm really glad that I didn't use the, I think it's iteration 3, because this is number 4. I have raised this up by yet another inch, and like bringing it down an inch would have made it kind of a bit more cleavage-tastic. And I have got one like that, and I do like it, but I do very much enjoy this neckline as well. So yeah, very pleased with this dress. I love it. I think it's so cute. And I even came down in my dressing gown this morning because it's still down here because I didn't film or take photos of any of my fruity makes for the So Fruity 2023 challenge because I have not had the weekend I planned. But never mind. Never mind. Julie Elizabeth is here. Good morning. Good morning. Michelle says, good morning, Peeps and Sean. How is everyone today? Very well, thank you. Mim says, hello, Sean. Hope you're well. Very well, thank you. Yeah, I was fully intending to come down and film my June lookbook on Friday and get that up as the video for Friday evening. And yeah, my body was just like, no, you are not today. I was like, okay, then fine. So I edited and uploaded my trouser pattern collection video, which I very much enjoyed doing, although it did take forever. They're really quick to film, they're not so quick to edit. Trusting UK is here. Hello. Jojo says, morning all, hope you're all well. Very well, thank you, Jojo. How are you? And then Mariah says, hello everyone, I'm enjoying my lunch break with you, lovely lot. Nice. I do have some new Patreon peeps to say hi to. I have remembered. So we have the very lovely Nicola, the very lovely Nicole Stanley, and Annie Piran have joined the Patreon peeps. So thank you very much to all 3 of you for joining the Patreon peeps. It's much appreciated. I have scheduled the hangout or the Zoom call for the $10 and $15 tier peeps on the 4th of July. So I appreciate it might not actually be very good for the American peeps, but 11 p.m. my time. So I think, Nimue, you said you might join that one as well because you're a night owl like me, which is awesome. So at least you and I can have another chat, which would be lovely. And then I'm going to remember to schedule the next Tuesday Zoom call for 11 a.m. following Tuesday, and then the one after that it will be 6 p.m. and I think that will be the schedule. It's like 11 a.m., 6 p.m., 11 p.m., and then round again, round and round again. That's my plan. That's my plan. Lollapalooza is here. She says, Jessica, where do you live? And Mim says, I love the sleeves on your dress. Thank you. I think I might done the armhole opening a little bit big because I don't remember my other ones being this big, but maybe they were. But yeah, I thought they were cute and I wanted to try something different. And so we've got flutter sleeves and then 2 sleeveless ones back there. And it's actually the 2 strawberry ones that are sleeveless. And it was only because I think I said in the plans video, I didn't want to try and wrestle this linen viscose into cardigans. But this, there's 2 layers because I have lined these sleeves because I tried to do these openings with bias binding and I hated it. So I've fully lined these sleeves and I've lined them in a viscose Marrakein, and then the body of this is lined in a viscose twill, so it's slightly heavier weight here, and then the skirt is lined in a viscose Marrakein. Still need to order more of that. But yeah, so my body was not having it on Friday or Saturday for filming the lookbook, so I am going to try and do it tomorrow so that it can be up on Tuesday. And I think that's going to be the schedule that I aim for, is a video on a Tuesday, a video on a Friday, hangout on the Sundays, and then Zoom calls on Tuesdays, depending on where you are in the world. That's the plan. That's the plan. Vox is here. Hey, hello Peeps, Kitty in a box. Hello, I really love the new dress that you put up on the Peeps group. Very pretty. Nimue says, yeah, that's midnight for me and I'm not at work, so I'll be there. Awesome. A Life Like Vera says, currently up to my eyeballs in bridesmaid dresses. Good morning. Good morning. Jessica says she's in the south of New Zealand. Lollapalooza says, we have been struggling with the air being so smoky from the forest fires here in Canada. Oof. Yeah, I've seen some of the footage of that. Not a lot, obviously. That was from my YouTube news show that I found. So yeah. Vox says, thank you, you're welcome, it looks very pretty. And Laura S says, morning from rainy Massachusetts. Good morning. So I've left my drink over by the door. 2 secs, I'm gonna go get it. Although I have just brushed my teeth as well, so I'm not sure how much I want orange, mango. Oh, I've got another juice right next to me. Whoopsie. Do that all the time. So yeah. Many dresses. Many dresses. And I sat down and, oh, I really love this dress. I sat down, when did I sit down? I sat down on Saturday and started having a look at my schedule for videos because I have noticed that I do better when I have like videos scheduled out, and I haven't been doing that for a while, so I sort of sat down and planned out the next sort of month and a bit of videos, and I've got more ideas than I've got space to put them in, so there might be more videos coming, but we all know how that goes and what happens with that, so there might not be, but I have plans. Yeah, we all know how well that usually goes for me, but we shall see. We shall see. Right, I need to. My machine is asking to be oiled, so I'm going to tell it I've done it. But we need to change the needle and defluff stuff. What are your guys' opinions on changing needles? I'm going to turn you around a little bit. Elena says, hello, lovely Shannon Peeps. Hello. And Debbie's here as well. Hi. Hello, Debbie. Yeah, so I think I said it in... Oh, no boy today. He is looking after his papa. So he is on the mainland. It's really funny. There's loads of comments on last week's Hangout just saying, excuse me, who's the guy? And I forget that lots of you guys don't sign up for Patreon, so haven't been hearing the behind the scenes waffle and the dating disasters that have been going on this year. But I have a new boyfriend. So that is who the boy was. He is Buttons. He's very pretty. And he's lovely. And he makes me smile. And he actually kind of is fascinated by this, my job. And will happily come and sit down here with me of a Sunday morning, early afternoon, and hang out with you guys. And he kind of plucked up the courage. He's done it a couple of times now, and sometimes he'll log on. Although I think he had a big night last night because I got text at 2 a.m. So I think he might be asleep now. But he does sometimes come and log on during the hangouts as well. But yeah, that is who that is. Not some random man that I found on the street and just went, ooh, come and hang out with me. So yeah, that is who that was. What was I saying? What was I saying before that? I have a memory like a sieve. Lollapalooza says, I thought everyone did so well to not tease Buttons last week. Yes, you were all very well behaved. Very well behaved. So, like, I think he might actually come back as well. Like, he's here next week. We've already booked. We've already booked our afternoon at the Fairy Gardens. We've been booked in as the Pims couple. I think I might have said that previously, but yes, she's booked us in as the Pims couple because we did go and sit there for a couple of hours and drink a couple of jugs of Pims in that time. It was delicious. Alcoholic fruit, you gotta love it. Might have to wear one of my fruity dresses to go and sit and drink fruit. Drink fruit. Drink Pims, eat fruit. Okay, so that's defluffed. Little bit of oil. There we go. Try not to get oil on anything else because that would be bad. Itchy nose. So put the plate back on. Mim says, have you been at Button's home? No, he's buying one. He doesn't have a home at the moment. He is technically homeless, although his mum has taken him in. And he is sleeping on a sofa bed, which is why I have not been over to the mainland for a long weekend, because there is nowhere for me to sleep because it's a single sofa bed. And he likes me and doesn't want to put me off by giving me a bad back. Because he's like, every time he comes to mine, he's just like, oh, it's so nice sleeping here with a good mattress. Yes, it is. I did indulge when we moved, because I'd been sleeping on a sofa bed for 2-3 years by that point, and I did indulge and get myself a super fancy mattress because it was needed. 70s. So yeah, he is in the process of buying a house, which is which is a total shit pit. Because he wants to completely renovate and do it up, and that is his plan. So he's in the process at the moment of the solicitors. The house was in probate, so he is just waiting for solicitors to sort out the details around that. So yeah, I think just defluff up here as much as I can. Yeah, he texted me last night. He was like, oh, I'm worried about when I buy the house, I'm not going to get to see you as much because he's going to spend a lot of time there at weekends, obviously doing things to the house and demolishing stuff. And I just said, well, as long as you have internet, I can come and visit, because as long as you have internet, we can hang out on a Sunday. Although the Sunday hangouts might look a little different. I'm going to try and sort of like save hand sewing and stuff like that so that I can take it. Mind you, I mean, we all know actual sewing happening during a live stream is kind of the aberration, not the norm. So I'm sure you guys will be totally fine just sitting and hanging out with me on a Sunday. So yeah. Do need to make a Sian bingo card, don't we though? How is it July already, by the way? Right, we need a bobbin thread, please. Please work. Please don't fluff up. Thank you. There we go. Right. There is going to be actual sewing. I know one of you, Sophie, she's like, sewing? Oh, who are you? What have you done with Sian? So, Mim, no, I haven't been to Button's home, but only because he doesn't have one. And as soon as he completes, I am buying him a bottle of champagne, and we're going to go and sit on the 70s carpet and camp out and have takeaway and have the champagne and then start demolishing the place. And he is kind of interested in, Kimberly fortnightly has just joined the Patreon Peeps as well. Thank you very much, Kimberly. That's very much appreciated. Yeah, he's kind of interested in doing a YouTube channel himself, but he has a full-time job as well as then having to completely gut and renovate a house. So we might have some talks about maybe doing some stuff on my channel, and so that we can document it for him, maybe, because I know he hasn't got the laptop and stuff to do all the editing and things like that. So yeah. It's going to be a fun project, I think. We all know how I feel about sewing home furnishing, so I will not be making curtains and blinds and stuff like that. Maybe the odd cushion. But yeah. Yeah. So, actually, Mim says, "Sorry if the question is too personal." No, not at all, not at all. Um, and I mean, honestly, it's really nice down here. It's not as peoply, and we have beaches, plural, to pick from, which we have been taking advantage of. And he's talking about taking a week off, and we're thinking about maybe even hiring a beach hut and going and spending, hopefully, if the weather's nice enough, but spending like an entire week on the sandy beach down at Sandown. um, like even becoming a yearly member at the zoo, because it's 45 quid for the year and you get free parking, and the parking daily is like £10 or something. So it works out better. And plus there's meerkats and lemurs and also tigers and lions. So yeah, we're thinking about doing like kind of like a beach holiday here, because I still don't have my passport sorted out, and it's going to take a good 8 to 10 weeks to sort my passport out. And by the time I've done that, he will have bought a house. So yeah, I'm going to sort my passport out because I would like to go and visit my brother. I'm thinking maybe January, because January is always incredibly depressing, and I'm always exhausted after December. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe we go and see James for a couple of weeks in January, if James is up for that. Just inviting myself to my brother's house. But yeah, that's what we're thinking. Nimoy says, I try to stick to roughly 4 hours per needle guideline. Definitely have to change mine out tomorrow after finishing the rainbow dress. Yeah, because I think I said, sorry, I went off on a tangent, didn't I? I asked you guys how often you change your needles. I was watching another one of those videos where someone comes out with the clickbaity title of "The sewing community is lying to you. You don't have to do these things." And actually, this one I thought was very reasonably argued and put across, and it wasn't as triggering to me as the one the previous year had been. Like, the one the previous year really annoyed me, as I think most of you had seen. But this one, it was just like, okay, cool, yeah. Like, I liked the way that it was presented. But one of the things in there was like, you have to change your needle for every project or every 8 hours sewn. And they were like, nah, I'm just going to change it when I think I need it. And then they went on to talk about their overlocker. And honestly, like, same with the overlocker. I rarely change my overlocker needles, but I only sew jersey and stretch fabrics on my overlocker. And my overlocker is set up with ballpoint needles. And in my head, ballpoint needles or jersey needles, or because I know there's a difference between stretch, jersey, ballpoint. You know, I genuinely don't even know which type of needle I've got on my overlocker. I just know that they're good for knits. But those ones, because of the type of tip of the needle, like in my head, they don't blunt because they weren't sharp to start with, because they're meant to push the weave aside rather than pierce through it like a traditional sewing needle does. So yeah, my overlocker needles only get changed when they get broken. And I never, ever, ever sew woven on my overlocker, ever. And it's, again, one of the things was you have to do certain finishes on the inside for your garment to be proper. It's like, you don't have to do anything in sewing. I've said it. I mean, I know this. I'm not saying this video was aimed at me specifically, and I know it wasn't aimed at me specifically. But I just did think it was really funny. One of the beauties of sewing for me is there are a million different ways to achieve the final result. Like for me, for example, these sleeves, like the pattern says to bias bind the edge of this opening on the sleeve, and I tried it and I hated it, absolutely hated it. So I pivoted and I fully lined it, because that's my preference, which meant that I can fully line, and I've bagged out the sleeves of this dress, and the inside of these look beautiful in my opinion. I have French seamed the crap out of the skirt, both sides, even though it's fully lined. I have faced my facings and then hand stitched those down. Is that overkill? Yes, completely. Of course it is. But do I like how it looks? Yes. Am I the only person that sees the inside of my dresses? Well, apart from when I show you guys, yes. But that's one of the things about sewing, is like I love it. And it's really interesting because lots of people are like, oh, French seams, they take twice as long as everything else. And it's like, well, okay, but then if you're overlooking something, that's another step that you've got to do. So, you know, it's another machine you've got to get out. And for me, I can't have my overlooker set up permanently as well as the rest of my room. It's one of those ones where it comes out to be used and then gets put away. So it's not like super convenient, always just there kind of thing. Same with the cover stitch machine. If I had space to have those two machines set up on a different desk and have them permanently out, things would be very, very different, but they're not. So, you know, like I've gotten into my habits. And again, I had my overlocker for 5 years sitting there scaring me. And that's why I learned French seams and bias binding and pinking. And yeah, one of the things in this video was like, you have to finish your seams a certain way, otherwise you're not proper seamstress. And it's just like, I know there are some people out there who say those kind of things. And I know there are some people out there who think those kind of things, but that's absolute nonsense. And that's what this video was getting at as well. But at the end of the day, it was literally a, you do you. If you like the end result of whatever you're making, that's the important thing. That's the bit that matters. So yeah. How often do you change your needle? Sorry, little rant there. Little rant. Johanna says, good morning, peeps. Good morning. Mim says, he sounds so lovely and it's so nice to see you so happy. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's just so nice to meet somebody that kind of wants all the same things that I do and kind of has the same expectations of a relationship that I do. Like, I know relationships are about compromise, and that's what I was trying to do with previous relationships. And I realized that I was compromising too far to the point where I wasn't going to be happy in the long run, and I wasn't. So yeah, it's just nice that, I mean, I know it's early days. We started talking on the 5th of April. I know it's very early days, but yeah, it's just nice that he is willing to discuss what he wants as well. It's not up in the air, kind of like just like guessing. He's like very verbal about, this is what I want from a relationship, which I personally really, really like. So yeah, and it is making me very happy. Caroline says, morning, Shannon peeps. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you, Caroline. Then says, don't forget to like the stream, peeps. Yes, there are 87 of us and 23 likes. So Felicia says, hi all, just joined as I head into bed. Ooh, looks like actual sewing is going to happen. I know, right? Well, that's the idea. I've got two little sleep cap sleeves and a skirt lining to try and get sewn up in this lemon print, the matching one from this. We shall see how that goes. I'm also thinking I ought to probably try and do the hair ties that go with these dresses as well. Yeah. Justin's here. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Jojo says, aha, Sian, how about builderish behaviour, a new offshoot for the channel? Yeah, I think it could be really fun documenting this from the start to the finish. I mean, you know, he's planning on it taking nearly 2 years, so I love how optimistic I'm being, but that's, you know, like I would rather go into a relationship with this is the one than a like, when is this going to end attitude, if that makes sense to you guys. It does to me. So yeah. Elena says, just in case, remember that YouTube hates when you add content that is different than usual and kicks you from any algorithms for a couple of months. Plus building renovation channels are popular. I mean, to be fair, the algorithm hates me at the moment anyway, so I've like fluffed with my channel too much over the last couple of months and everything's gone horribly wrong. Yes, no, I appreciate that might, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. He might want it on a different channel anyway. I just think it could be quite fun. Mem says, I'm changing my needle after 8 hours sewing plus minus. Rotten Ralph says, change the needle. I only do that if the fabric changes significantly in weight. Ah, interesting. Lollapalooza says, I mainly stick with Microtex needles and they last so much longer. Interesting. I can always hear when my needle blunts. Mum thinks I'm mad. I can hear when her needle blunts. It makes more of a piercing sound, like a puncture sound in the fabric. And I think the finer the fabric you use, the more you should change your needle. But again, that's me. That's what I think and how I sew. And we can all see. I mean, this is that's a good 2 years worth of used needles of different varieties and then a couple of broken pins in there as well. But I mean, that's my take on it. There is no, I mean, there is a right answer according to other people. There isn't a right answer. It's just, you know, like when I first started sewing, if you watch my early UFO video, I had no clue about changing the needle. I used the one that came in the machine for as long as it was holding up. It probably bent at one point, and I was sewing silk with that thing because I was just like, yeah, I'm going to make a silk chiffon skirt as one of my first projects, because of course I was. And did it go well? No, it did not. And did the sewing machine get put away for a long time? Yes, it did. But it's just, you know, like one of those things. Mim says, I also rarely change the needles on my overlocker. Apparently there are specific overlocker needles as well. Again, who knew? I mean, Bernina sell specific Bernina needles, and they're expensive, and I don't buy those very often. I buy Microtex and Schmetz. Sorry, I buy Schmetz needles, and I especially buy the 70s and 80s. You buy in boxes, you can get 100 of them for about 25 quid, and the amount of needles that I use, and these are just universal ones. So Schmetz universal size 70-10 and then 80-10. If I could buy every type of needle in bulk like that, I would. The very lovely Caroline G made me a little set, because when she came to my first retreat, she had her own like sewing kit set, and it was amazing. So I've got like the Dachshund. I'm sure you guys have seen this many times, but I have the Dachshund pin cushion that I cannot bring myself to use as an actual pin cushion. So he lives and guards the overlocker and the cover stitch. Got a little bag up there for scissors with scissor cases in them, and she gave me scissors as well. But the thing I use the most often is the little needle tidy. I think it's absolutely amazing. So yeah, we've got Schmetz Inspirer. Yeah, I clearly need to get more jersey needles because that's what those ones are. I have quite a lot of Microtex. What are you? The only trouble with this is the print rubs off from the actual quilting needles. The print rubs off of this onto the plastic, so I need to go in and clean that. Quilting needles, twin needles, universal, metallic, and then just universal in a variety of sizes. But I love this. This is so awesome. But yeah, if I could buy my needles in boxes of 100 for every single type, I would. Some I obviously would use more than others, but yeah. Let's see, where did I get to with the chat? Rotten Ralph says, I use the strawberry part of my tomato pin cushion to sharpen my needles. Yes, it's got little fibres in it, hasn't it? Sue says, ooh, I hate the bias binding on the peephole sleeve too. Would love to see how to do a lining. There's a full tutorial for that. If you go to the 7974, part 4 of the tutorial is how to raise this bit up so that it's not like as cleavage-tastic as the original, because the original dress comes in a V to here, which is, I mean, I know I like Hello Here Are My Boobs dresses, but for me that was too much. So those dresses have gone. But yeah, part 4 of the sew along has the full sleeve piece in it. Words are hard. Does have those in there though. So I've done that already. That video exists. Mim says, I would line the sleeve as well. Yeah, and like I say, I line these sleeves in Marrakein, which is very, very light, much lighter than the twill that I lined the bodice in, and that was a purposeful choice because I wanted the sleeves to have a little bit of movement, and I think that they do, so very happy with that. And then the bodice, I wanted a little bit more support and structure, so I went for a thicker fabric. And again, the dress, the skirt is lined in the lighter, floatier fabric for lighter, floaty reasons. So I'm going to be doing the video about these dresses, I think, is going to be like a here is the different options I went for. Here's how to make a flutter, because I made that flutter sleeve from this sleeve pattern. And then also why I went into the lining choices that I did for each of these dresses, because this is an unlined pattern according to the original pattern. Yeah, it's completely unlined. It has a facing, and I hate the finishing on that one. So to the point where I was filming an entire sew along for it, I was just like, I got as far as doing up the side seams, and I was like, no, I'm not doing it. Don't like it. No. No. So else. Let's see. What have I got to? Nimue says, yeah, overlocking needles get totally ignored. Around what I estimate to be 4-ish hours of sewing, I noticed a real difference in how my machine sews, so new needle makes sense for me. And that's the other thing. Every single machine has its own little quirks and foibles, doesn't it? So you learn those quirks and foibles the more you use it, and then you just adjust accordingly, which is totally fine. It's not like you're sitting there saying to everybody else, you're wrong, you must do it my way. It's like, this is my way and what my reasons behind it. So yeah, I've really got to stop watching these videos. I mean, I made one myself, which was my 3 sewing rules you must never break except if you want to, you naughty little thing. But it was one of those ones where it's just like, yeah. Jane says, morning or good morning. Nimue says, and I love having options for seam finishes. So many think pinking is easiest. Pinking shears hurt my wrists like crazy, so save them for the essential spots with no good alternative. Did you try my Kai pinking shears when you were over last year, Nimue? Did I convert you to Kai? Because Mum is the same. She hates doing pinking, but the Kai shears, and again, they have not been sharpened since KK gave them to me 5-6 years ago now. Neither of those have been sharpened, and I use them on this because I pinked. So I sewed the sleeve seam 5/8 of an inch, and then I bagged it out. So like I reached in between the lining and the sleeve and pinched it and then pinned it and then sewed it again. And then I have pinked all the way around really carefully because you do not want to cut into anything. But yeah, these are all pinked. So like I was going through 5 or 6 layers of fabrics at some of these seam points. And, you know, it wasn't easy, but those Kai shears are amazing. Highly recommend them. Highly recommend. Eternal Magpie says, I can hear when my needle blunts too. Usually sew cotton poplin, and there's definitely a sound that means the needle wants to be changed. I'm glad it's not just me. Mim says, love the idea of some renovation videos. Sound interesting and funny. I mean, if it was me doing the renovations, it would be hilarious. It would be me trying to like rip out a kitchen and him being standing next to me and I'm like, can't move it. And he'll be like, what this? So yeah. I don't know. We'll see what he wants to do as well, because he might not want to do that. He's like kind of expressed an interest in it, but maybe not. We'll see. Eternal Magpie says, I never changed my overlocking needles though. No, same. Saskia says, I accidentally hit a pin yesterday, so I'll be changing my needle before starting today. Yep. Nimue says, you could always be Button's camera girl on the weekends as he works. Saves him the setup and totally justifies oogling the pretty boy for you, and then create a channel for his content. Yeah, this is true. This is very true. We could do that. I'll have to ask him what he wants to do. I think it could be interesting. Danny says, hi all, just got back from walking Graph and have an afternoon of sewing planned, just deciding what to make next. Nice. Lollapalooza says, I paid 100 Canadian dollars for a box of 100 Microtex. Ooh, wow, $1 a needle. Nice. Yeah, mine was 25, 26 pounds for 100 needles, but they were universal. So, yeah. Mim says, in Germany, I never saw a seller who sells needles in the 100 a bundle. Did you, Nimue? I got mine from Amazon. So I have a love-hate relationship with Amazon. Oh, look what came. I do love some see-through packaging, and I'm so excited because you guys know at some point this year I am going to be doing a embroidered, beaded, embellished jacket, very much a la Bianca. Mine's going to be orange with dragons on it, and I have about £100 worth of sequins and beads from Etsy that are going to need homes, and they're all tiny. So I have sequin homes. So yeah, I got those from Amazon. Sue says, brilliant, thank you. No worries, Sue. Nimue says to Mim, no, sadly not, and went looking. Ah, interesting. And Dashna says, hey all, hello. Alana says to Nimue, it's always nice when people visit other channels. Even some family channels has 2 parallel ones, one for her, one for him. And Lollapalooza says, Nimue, sorry, autocorrect. I think we got that one. Nimue says, no, I didn't try your shears, but I struggle with all scissors on any materials, so that's definitely a factor. But I'd like to try yours next year because they're definitely needed at times. Yeah, definitely give the pinking shears a go when you come over next year, because they are expensive. But they are, like I say, are highly, I mean, mine were a gift, because you guys are awesome and send me the most amazing things. But yeah, highly recommend. Sue says the film The Money Pit. Yeah. Yeah, although this house is not that grand. Oh, that would be so nice. That would be so nice. But that's the dream house, like to buy something that's that grand but needs that much, maybe not quite Money Pit level of work. But yeah, that's the dream. Kiki says, hello, I made it. Usually miss your lives and watch later. Hello, welcome. And Dashna says, maybe you need electric scissors. Ooh. Yeah, I think the trouble with what Nimue is talking about is sometimes you need scissors that you can, words are hard, scissors that you can get into fiddly bits with, and I don't think electric scissors work that well for those. So I think that's what Nimue is talking about. Right. So I cut out, making a bit of freedom. I cut out little cap sleeves for the lemon dress because I wanted some kind of sleeve. Because I do like sleeveless, but I just think like bringing it out, and I haven't made this dress, the 5951, that dress. I haven't made the sleeveless version. The sleeveless version on this one is very high necked. I've gone for the V-neck as well, but I've gone for the tiny little cap sleeves. I've added an inch of width to them so that hopefully they won't be as restrictive as the red silk ones ended up being, and that was because they were too small for my frame at the time. I've tried it on again since, and whilst I still won't be able to go salsa dancing in that dress, I wouldn't have gone salsa dancing in that dress anyway because it's a silk dress. And I don't want to sweat through it because salsa dancing makes you very sweaty, and if you're doing it right, and you're unfit like I am, and yeah, that's just not the appropriate dress for that. So it's like this dress, I wouldn't wear this one to go salsa dancing in, but I would wear those ones that are up there because they've got no sleeves on them, or they have the flutter sleeves. Oh, as well, I think I showed the Patreon peeps, but it was the Patreon peeps that voted. Ended up going for the self-covered buttons. Still got 8 more to do. They're on their way. But I do think that was the right answer for that dress because they blend in to the background. Now I'm going to have a look at Tuota Matoshi dresses because she uses exactly the same motifs on hers, and I want to see how she's spaced hers and what she's done with hers, because I am going for the kind of like Hope and Ivy look, but have noticed also that Tuota Matoshi uses exactly the same motifs. I mean, if they're not exactly the same, as in like the same manufacturer, then the manufacturer has seen her dresses and just gone, yeah, I can do that. So, yeah. Mim says, nice storage for the sequins. Yes. Yes, it's made me very happy when it arrived. And Dad saw it and went, ooh, what's that for? And I was like, me. He was like, damn it. It's been really interesting. Recently, complete tangent, sorry, but Mum has ended up taking quite a few things from my wardrobe. She's up to about 20 items from my wardrobe now, and she's been wearing them, which is lovely because, you know, that's why. So technically they're not like hers. There's a couple that are hers because of the colours in them, but they are on loan to her, and I will get them back if I ever do put weight on again in the way I've been eating this weekend. I've been eating all of the greasy comfort food because I wanted and needed greasy comfort food. But I'm going to go back to proper keto tomorrow because I don't want to creep back into bad habits, which would very easily happen if I'm not careful because I have such a sweet tooth. So yes, I'm going to have to give up sugar again, but I'm going to use my killer vanilla sticks again because they worked really well for me last time. So yeah. Let's see, yes, I am making a mirrored pair, not identical. It's always worth double checking before you start sewing because I sewed these wrong the first time round, cut everything out, realized it, had to unpick it and then sew it with no seam allowance, which was not fun. Do not recommend. But I was absolutely determined that I was not going to cut out because I have got a little bit of this fabric left over. So I'm hoping I'm going to be able to make either an Anna or a Rita blouse out of it. And I know I don't wear trousers very often. I know this. But yeah, I need some, I mean, maybe I'll wear them more often if I have tops to wear with them. We'll see. Amy says, all that talking about needles, mine just snapped and completely bended. Oh no! I'm so sorry. That one needs to be changed. I'm sorry. Lalapooza says you can get different blades for your rotary cutter also to do wavy cuts. Oh, interesting. Although I did try changing the blade on my overlocker once, and the guy that refurbishes it said that I put it back on the wrong way. I was so careful. Never mind. Elena says to Nimoy, have you tried Viscose spring-it scissors? They are very gentle on the wrists. Josephine says, hello, hi. Darshana says, oh no, Tameiki. Nimoy says, luckily my wrists do well with rotary cutters, so saving scissors usually to fiddly spots is workable compromise. I may eventually try spring-loaded, but it's an expensive field to experiment in. Yes, it is. And Rotten Ralph says, a few days, a month of greasy comfort food isn't terrible. Exactly. And it is only a few days, every 28 days or so. So yeah, but definitely needed it this weekend because like everything that could hurt was just like, let's hurt all at the same time. And that pain gate thing that I was talking about previously, I was just like, nah, we're not going to let you like experience one type of pain at once. We're going to have it all. It's like, oh, this is fun. So yeah, it's actually probably very good that buttons didn't come this weekend because I am definitely not feeling human. Oh, 42 minutes and 52 seconds in and stitching is happening. So whoever had sewing within the first hour on their bingo card, a drink. Chris says, hi from Adelaide. I have not caught your live for ages. Hello, how are you? Dasha says, maybe you should make the trousers for someone else as you don't like wearing them but want to try the patterns. See, now, it was really interesting reading the comments on that video because, as I say, in my head, and I only put the pirate core board up, but I also have a trouser and jumpsuit inspiration video as well, boards as well. I love trousers. I do think they're much dressier. They're like, so for me, this is a very casual, everyday dress. Some people would not think of that as that way. But like suit trousers and a waistcoat and a shirt, for me, it's very, very dressy, but I love that look. So I think I'm just going to start wearing it in the cooler months. And I think what my issue is that I've never had a super well-fitting pair of trousers. Like those black ones that I did in my wardrobe clear out that lots of people said I should keep that have got the V, but I put a photo up in the pattern haul as well. They are not meant to have that V. That's just because the crotch is that tight that it's bringing it down. And I made those and I was just like, yeah, these are amazing. And I wore them low slung on my hips. So I think what the problem is I've never had a super well-fitting pair of trousers. And I can imagine, because I'm doing trouser month and I've got all, like, how many pieces of fabric here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There is enough fabric there for 9, 10, 11, 12. I've got 12, possibly 13 pairs of trousers in fabric form at the moment. I can see what my problem would be is that I will make a pair up, fit them perfectly, love them, and then just make all of those fabrics into the same trousers, and I want a variety. So yeah. And I know like making stuff for other people is a good idea, especially if they wear trousers and stuff like that. Mum really wants trousers. She wants to make them for herself. I mean, I don't think she'd complain if I made them for her, but I do think she wants to make them for herself. And I am debating whether I give her my black wool suiting, because as useful as I think a black pair of trousers will be, I have had a black skirt, I've had a black jacket, I've had a black trench coat, a black coat. My coat I'm going to offer to my sister-in-law or niece and see if either of those want it. They've got my Sorrento jacket. Mum's got the trench coat. I don't like wearing black, and it's just, I prefer colour. And I've got some beautiful red coating that I might remake that the black coat that I made earlier this year. Also that one, I made it when I was at my biggest this year, and then I've lost like maybe a stone now, but a stone and a half since I've made that. So it's way too big for me now. So I think my issue is that I don't have well-fitting trousers, and I have spent a long time making things for other people, and I hate the process now. Which sounds really selfish, and it is. Well, no, I don't know if it is selfish or not, but having a business where I made stuff for other people has cured me of wanting to ever do that again. I disliked it intensely. Like every now and again, I'll want to make a gift for somebody, and that I enjoy, and then I enjoy giving it to them. But it's because I've chosen to do it rather than like not the same that you saying I must do this thing, but yeah, I don't enjoy sewing for other people at all. So no, because that would put me off even further from ever making trousers again. So no. Dasha says sewing on a sewing channel. Whoop! I know, right? Nimue says Talala Palooza. I even have a wavy blade, but I don't quite dare get near most finished pieces with it. Maybe I have to get over that fear. Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Mim says, I didn't wear trousers for about 4 years. I love dresses, and big jersey shirts should be worn with leggings. Yeah, see, I want to make leggings. I do. And I like the look of trousers tucked into boots. I love that look. I know, very pirate core, which is why I like pirate core, I think. And I'm not making up pirate core. Somebody else has done that totally. But in the autumn winter, I totally would dress like that if I had the correct trousers to do so. So yeah. Michelle says, I'm scared to try trousers. I want to come to the sewing room and make them with you. For me, it's doing it without someone to bounce it off of. I'd wear what you make. Yeah, I agree. Like, I'm really looking forward to having Mum to help me fit. And we're going to do the Susie Farah trouser pants fitting block. Then I'm going to attempt these other patterns and take that block and try and translate the information from the block over to the patterns, or the patterns over to the block, either or. Hopefully I won't have to redraft the wheel every single time is kind of what I'm hoping for. But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting experience. Chris says, once you get a trouser sloper correct, then you can adapt to any style. Yes. Mim says, but I am sewing a lot of trousers for my husband and love wearing black and florally fabrics, of course. Nice. Yeah. Button's t-shirt started coming undone last week, the cover stitching on the hem, so I've got to fix that for him. He's left it with me. All I've wanted to do all week is put it on, especially these last couple of days. It's like I want to, because it smells like him, I just want to put it on and like lie on the bed and just be like, meh. I have issues, I know. Eleanor says, so you need to make all the trousers you like as muslins first, and then pick favorites and only make up all the fancy fabric. Some of the fabrics back here are going to be specific things because of the type of fabric they are. Oh, yeah, 13. I've got some railroad, really expensive Robert Kaufman railroad stretch denim here that I want to make skinny jeans out of. I need to just try, which is why they're on my list of things that scare me and projects that are going to get done this year. because they do scare me and I want them. And I used to wear trousers and stuff a lot. I mean, I've got a pair of jeans that I went and stood in a machine that took a 3D scan of my body and I had them made, and they were 280 quid. They're now like 500 pounds or something, because otherwise I would go and do it again. Because I don't think £280 is bad for a pair of custom designed. You get to pick the top stitching, the denim, I had Demonte trim on mine. You can have your initials put on them. You can have the fit that you want, the cut that you want, and it's specifically made to your body scan. So they fit perfectly then, but I was 9 stone then, so I have got no hope of ever getting back into those again. But I've kept them because they're beautiful and they're a thing, like they're engineering marvel in my opinion. And like I say, if they weren't ridiculously expensive, I think they're maybe even more than 500 quid now. I nearly even went and worked for the company at one point. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to making jeans. I used to wear them all the time. I had a pair of, they were press stud fronts. They were cropped, but they kind of like had a massive turn up on them that was sewn into place, denim kind of pedal pushers that were not quite as high waisted as I would have liked, but I wore those to death. I had some Levi's that I wore to death. Levi's, one of the things I was going to do before I split up with Wilson was I was going to go to the Levi's store on Regent Street, because they have an atelier in there. So you find the jeans that you want, you try on a bunch of jeans, you buy the ones that fit you the best over the hips, and then you have the waist tailored in store, so that it, because for me the problem is always that if they fit my hips, they bag at the back of here, and I know I can do that myself, but I don't want to. I hate alterations, and Levi's had this service, and I had it done on a couple of pairs of jeans, and I wore those to death. I bought the curve range, the bold curve jeans. I have those still. Can sort of just get into them, but they're not comfortable. I need to lose another, at least half a stone. Well, that was when I need to probably lose another stone again now. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like, I've grown out of all the things, and those kind of, like everybody had said in the trouser videos, they're difficult to buy and find trousers that fit you ready to wear, and like fitting trousers, sewing patterns is also difficult. It's not easy, and I'm also not saying it's impossible. There's a new that video I was talking about earlier. I was talking about the top down down and out method of fitting trousers that's come out in threads, and how people are now espousing that as the only way to do trousers. And it's like, do trousers however you want to do, whatever works for you is the right way. Just because a way has come out and it's worked for somebody else, and they can get a little evangelical about it. And so yeah, this video was just like, it just because it's come out and it's been talked about doesn't mean to say it's necessarily the only way of doing this, because it's not. You can do it however you want, but this is a method that other people have used. And top down, waist out, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but yeah, like, that was mentioned in the comments video, in the comments of the pattern video. And I think my problem is that I just don't have trousers that fit me the way that I want them to, and that's why I don't wear trousers, because I don't have them, and I don't enjoy making them. The few times I've tried making trousers, it's not been the greatest success. So again, that's why I'm starting with the sloper, to use the information from the sloper to hopefully translate over to the patterns I want to use, so that I can hopefully make that a success. We shall see. It's going to be an experiment. There's going to be TNTs. There's going to be many TNTs interspersed in all that trouser shenanigans, because I have learnt my lesson. And 2 seams sewn in 54 minutes. I have learnt my lesson, and I know that if I try and do all of the new things all at once, I get overwhelmed, and then my sojo disappears and I retreat into a small blanket, and then people judge me for having a mental health crisis, even though my job is this channel. I did think some of the comments that I got when I was talking about losing your sojo with people telling me that it's my job, suck it up and just do it. It's like, okay, not sure that's how my brain works, but okay. So yeah. What did I get to with the chat? Darshana says, I feel like dresses are what I wear to dress up, so I'm planning to just dress up to be at home, hoping pretty clothes make me feel better. Feel for you with your pain. Pain gate, I can relate. Yeah, pain gates are supposed to like regulate. They did not this weekend. It was just everything. Fun times. But I have my first acupuncture appointment on Wednesday. Yay! Except it's not acupuncture, it's pens on this. So it's going to be interesting. I will report back and let you know how I get on Sunday next week. Right, I need to do some understitching next. Michelle says, selfish is not bad all the time. I detest sewing for others unless it's a gift, and I only did it as a summer job at 18. Yeah. Nimue says, when do you plan Trouser Month? I could try one on my list at the same time. I think we can indulge in virtual hand-holding. Yes. I'm thinking, given all of these are fairly heavyweight wool suitings, denims, and there's a couple of polys in there as well, I'm thinking in the cooler months. So I'm thinking September. I did think about August, and I'm not ruling August out. Like July is going to be Gertie month, as I think I said, and there is going to be a pair of trousers in there, the Lucille. I am hopeful with Gertie's fitting advice, and I know I need to look at the crotch depth. I am very hopeful that I will be able to do those without the trouser sloper. And I can definitely see me falling in love with them and making a million of them. Like I say, I mean, I have so many trouser patterns. Like the video didn't cover all of them because I have my PDFs as well. I'm going to do PDFs in a different video. But I mentioned a few of the ones that I could remember off the top of my head. But I've got some victory pattern trousers with they were a gift. I've got so I've got loads of trouser patterns that I want to try. But yeah, it's probably going to be, I don't think it's going to be August, but it could be, but I think it's definitely going to be September. And then the dirndl is going to be in October. That's the plan. Nikki says, I hear you. I dislike sewing for others as well, even for my partner and son. Yeah, I think it's one of those things that I need it to be my idea and not being made to do it. And purely and simply because I did it for a job for a very long time, and that 100% cured me of it. So yeah. Kiki read that one. So Daisy says, I'm selfish sewist too. I don't have a lot of time to sew, so I prefer to make things I can enjoy myself. Yeah, I mean, so I don't think selfish sewist is the right terminology either. I think that implies that there's a lot of implications in selfish, the word selfish. I think if it's your hobby and you love it and you only have a finite amount of time, then it's not selfish to indulge yourself in that hobby. To enjoy your free time as you wish. So I think selfish sewist is also a problematic term, but it's one that everyone recognizes and knows exactly what somebody means when they say so. Yeah. Caroline says, so over it, Stitch School trouser fitting is very helpful. Oh, good to know. Thank you. Oh, Nimue put it up in the Peeps group as well, but the Summer Dreaming ebook is 50% off today. Also, Sherwood's have 50% off all of their sale items. You have to spend 150 quid to begin with, but they've got some blue silk dupioni in there. Oh, I have no money to buy fabric. I don't need blue silk dupioni. I mean, I don't have any royal blue silk dupioni. I have got a couple of cuts of blue silk up there, but they're not royal blue and they're not as much as I need for what I want to do with them. But Sherwood's do sales like that all the time, so I need to just behave or get it when I go up to the Festival of Quilts, and then hopefully we go to Lady McElroy as well, because I need to at least buy some silk for the Dior silk skirts that I want to do. Words are hard. Where did I get to with the chat? Michelle says, I'm excited for trousers. I like big wide leg trouser bell-bottom pants. I've bought a bunch of patterns, but still plucking up the courage to cut fabric and get on with it. Yeah, Nimue says, not having a well-fitting example can really influence your wardrobe choices and style. I didn't wear dresses for a long time because every waist was too high up on every single one I bought. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. How many of you guys have yawned? I'm so far behind with the chat by the time I get there. Like, yeah. But no, I know exactly what you mean. That's one of the reasons I got into sewing, is because I got fed up with trying to buy dresses that I wanted that didn't fit me the way that I wanted them to. So Daisy Sew says, I sometimes sew something for a friend who shops cheap patterns for me, but then that's about it. Haha, yeah. Michelle says, wearing button shirt should be payment for the repair. It's one of his favorites. I don't want to ruin it. Give it back to him smelling my, I mean, I'd obviously wash it if I wore it, but yeah, smelling my perfume. It's just like, why is it stretched out in places? Mind you, he has a bigger chest than I do, measurement-wise. Lollapalooza says, I bet you secretly picked some of those stitches just so he'd take his shirt off. Lol. No, I did not. It's I need to get the cover stitch out, and I do have the right colour thread. Oh, God. I haven't used a cover stitch in years. It'll be fine. Rotten Ralph says, are you telling me you didn't put it on restraint? Thy name is Shan. I know. And also, I haven't bought fabric this weekend, even though Sherwood's have 50% off of silk. Who am I? Michelle says, I get the 4th off. I may pluck up the courage. I have some fabric in my stash to make some trousers. I feel inspired. Oh, awesome. Rotten Ralph says, did we tell the aggressive people to go away? Yes, we did. Yeah. Caroline says, that type of comment would make me worse. Yeah. There was one that I know meant it well, but the other ones, it was one of those ones where it was just like, there were the ones that it was a certain, I don't wish to be offensive in this, and I'm not trying to be offensive, but there was a certain age range that was making the comment of suck it up and get on with it. It's your job. And I don't think prioritizing my mental health, given how bad my mental health has been for the last couple of years, I don't think prioritizing my headspace and trying to make myself in a better headspace to then carry on with what I love doing, because I do love doing this, was a bad decision. And I think there is a certain generation of suck it up and get on with it, and then cry when you get home in private. And I don't want to do that to myself, so I didn't. And my channel has suffered, and it is my own fault. You know, I knew that going in, making the decisions that I did, and I'm glad that I did, because as you guys have seen, I am markedly happier than I have been in a very, very, very long time, and I am getting a much better work-life balance as well. Because for a very, very long time, I was just working and working and working. And I do love my job. My job is also my hobby. And so that's one of those things where the thing that I love doing, I've also monetized in a way to make it my permanent full-time job, which I'm very lucky and amazed that I'm able to do in the way that I am. But it's one of those things where I didn't have a great balance between constantly working and taking actual time off. And actual time off could be just as much of coming down and just not putting the camera on and just sewing something for the joy of sewing it, and not having to film every step or try and think of something funny or try and, you know, like try and make a tutorial out of something. And doing that over the last couple of days and this last month, like, I know I filmed every step of the Grace dresses, but I didn't try and chat through that. And I really enjoyed how that video came out. So yeah, I think it's just been experimenting with how I mean, this channel's been evolving. It's 6 years that I've been doing this full time now, and you know, like, it's one of those things. It's going to evolve and change over time, and it's going to be different, and it's going to be what works for me gets kept and what doesn't gets moved on, and then that changes over the years as well. So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I think there was definite people telling me that I was being self-indulgent for saying that I'd lost my sojo, and that's why that's why there were no videos on the channel. I had a lot of people ask if I was going Patreon exclusive completely, and no, that was not the intent. There is Patreon exclusive content now, which I've never done before this year. And I did think the views on the channel have massively dropped off because the waffles are now behind a paywall. It's only a $2 a month paywall, and I know I say only $2. I know in this day and age, in this economy, like every single penny counts. So I very much appreciate every single person that has signed up for Patreon in any way, shape, or form, because that has, whilst the views have dropped off here, the uptake on Patreon was so much better, so that kind of evened out. So I'm still earning the same amount of money. The amount of money I'm making has not gone up. Even though I'm making the same amount of content, I'm just spacing it out differently. I had lofty goals for this year. I really want to increase my subscriber count, and then the last couple of months happened, and I don't think I'm going to hit that goal. So I've lowered the goal, and hopefully I can hit that goal. And yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like I had a job in London that was really, really well paid, and honestly wasn't a stressful job in as much as I had deadlines and stuff to meet. I had a finite 40-hour week and got paid really well for what I did, and I did enjoy it. But you know what? I'm so much happier. I am so much happier in and of myself now that I have moved out of London, moved to the country, and I'm doing something that I love that pays peanuts compared to what my old job was. But I'm happier. I'm happier. And I think that's important. I don't know. I've been in therapy this year as well. From the pain clinic, I got referred to a therapist to help deal with the pain, and we ended up, a lot of the coping mechanisms that she was going to give me, I already had, because I've been in pain for six years. So you develop coping mechanisms, and apparently I've developed some ones that are apparently healthy, some not so much, and we talked about those. But yeah, it was really interesting talking to her as well, because she was just like, well, there's all these, I should be doing this, and I do have guilt around certain parts of my life, and how certain parts of my life are maybe not necessarily looking how they should at my stage of life, and how I haven't hit certain goals, or I haven't done other things. And it was like, well, where do these arbitrary goals come from? And they are arbitrary, like societally imposed milestones that people are saying, oh, you should have done this by now. Why? I love my life. I've had an amazing life. I'm having an amazing life. I am the happiest I've ever been in a very, very long time, work and personal wise. I love my home life. I love living with my parents. Like, genuinely, I would struggle to live by myself, but I could do it. I would be paying a little bit more in rent than I am now. Not much. But I am much happier living here in this environment with my parents. My parents lived abroad for a very long time, and so not having them available to visit whenever I wanted was very strange for me. They lived abroad for 10 years, and I wasn't able to just pop round whenever I wanted. Not that I did much, but it was always an option. And then they weren't here, and it was just like, oh. So I love both my parents. I enjoy staying with them, and like having the relationship with them that I do. So I mean, if I hated my parents, this would be an awful living situation, but I don't. I love them. So it was just interesting talking through in therapy with this amazing therapist, who kind of, it was really, I've never had therapy like this before, and it was just really interesting sort of talking, and then sort of like questions being asked, and it was just like, oh, okay, well, where did that come from, and like emotions being triggered and things like that. And then it just like sitting down and working out why certain things were so triggering for me. So yeah, it was a really interesting experience. Sorry, this is a massive tangent, but yeah, it's one of those things where I think any time anybody talks about mental health, um, and how they've coped with stumbles in their mental health and losing motivation and stuff like that, I think the buck up, just get on with it comments are not helpful. And I think mental health should be something that's openly talked about and not stigmatized at all, because it has been for such a long time. And again, without wishing to be rude, a certain generation had a certain stigma attached to it. And it was that generation that were giving me the buck up comments. And it was just like, no, it's not how it works anymore. I'm allowed to feel like this. And I'm allowed to work out why I feel like this. And I'm allowed to take the time that I need. And I mean, again, I'm very, very lucky that I'm in the position that I am, and I could take the time that I needed, and I didn't have to meet, like, you know, I have bills to pay, I have rent to pay, I have, like, you know, like bills and stuff that need to be paid, and I'm paying those. And I was making sure that they would continue to be paid that entire time. But it was just one of those things where it's, you know, my fun money is gone, basically. But yeah, I don't think there should be any stigma attached to people talking about mental health struggles and how they get over them, and then asking other people how they deal with the same thing, and just being like, oh, I'd never thought of that before, that's a really good plan, let me try that. Because, you know, like, not everybody's brains work the same way. So I thought it was an interesting video. Let's see. Nimue says, I hate advice that talks in absolutes. In a different group, I was told that the crotch curve of the culottes couldn't be taken up, that they were supposed to fit like that. Sorry, I don't believe any garment is meant to cause you pain, and the whole point of culottes in summer is to avoid a chub rub. Yeah, absolutely. Elena says, sorry, everyone, I have to go, but my demons demand me to join them. Oh, it was nice to see you, Elena. Thank you for coming. Caroline says, bit of good news. My temp job ends on Friday, and they have offered me a 6-month fixed term, and I hope eventually can make it permanent. Oh, that's awesome, Caroline. Brilliant. Darshana says, haha, if he sees the face about using the cover stitch face, he might retract his request. No one should try and advocate. Surely the channel just sorted the wheat from the chaff. Yeah. Ron Rouse says, congratulations to Caroline. So Daisy So says, self-care, be it physical or mental, is always more important than work, and I wish the world would just accept that. 100%. Nimue says, people work regular jobs can or should get time off for mental health as well. Not everyone allows themselves that, but yes, there is a generational factor to it, but it should be normalized more. Yes. Darshana says, what? WTAF? Nimue says, people don't want to allow for it because it impacts their entertainment. Talking about selfish minors. So Daisy says, Nimue says, that's spot on, I think. Yeah. I mean, I know there was one time I put out one video on the channel in April, I think it was, one proper video that month. And the rest, I did continue to waffle on Patreon. And again, thank you to everyone on Patreon who listened to me waffle, because some of those were not the happiest of waffles. But I think the boy stories helped. So yeah. Let's see. Darshana says, it's good that the pain clinic has therapy. Yes, I'm only allowed 6 sessions. I got the summation actually the other day when Buttons was here. So it was a summation of all 6 sessions that we talked through, and her putting into writing what we talked through, and it was actually really difficult to read all in one go like that. It was really, really difficult to read, but it was good. And then I have another follow-up, like, kind of like, how are you doing session with her. I think it's at the end of August. So yeah, and I'm actually thinking about looking into something like BetterHelp. I know there was a bit of a scandal around them because of some stuff with their licensing of therapists and stuff, but they've actually approached me to be a sponsor. I don't know if I'd want them to be a sponsor on the channel because of the issues that were. I need to do more research into them, but I'm actually thinking about maybe using them as a service and seeing how they work for me, because the talk therapy was really helpful, I found. And I don't think I need it all the time, but it was something that was good for me, definitely. And it definitely gave me some different perspectives and some, like, my inner Donald Trump vibes. She would say, like, my therapist at one point, she was like, if you have these negative thoughts, would you say this to anyone else? Why do you talk to yourself like this internally? And I was like, yeah, this is a good point. Why are you so mean to yourself? She's like, if you find yourself having negative thoughts, rephrase them in the voice of someone that you do not, that you think is an absolute joke, like that you don't respect. The person that came in mind, because he was in the news at the time, was Donald Trump. And I'm very sorry for any Trump supporters out there, but this is probably not the channel for you, because I think that man is a joke. And I just know, and I know that's going to probably alienate a bunch of people. I'm sorry. That's my opinion, and I really shouldn't bring politics into this thing. But that, like I say, the inner voice of the person that I don't respect is Donald Trump. And I have to say it works a charm, because if you have in your head Donald Trump saying something to you, and you're like, oh, for goodness sake, man, no. So now I sound like a batty, crazy person with like inner voices. But it did really, really help. It was like, if I say these things to myself in a voice, why would you would never say this to anyone else? Why do you talk to yourself like that? No. So yeah, I'm thinking about looking into more talk therapy, because I very much found that it helped. So yeah. Rockmouth says, sorting through the coping mechanisms. Darshan says, people don't realize how pain takes a toll on the mental. I can totally relate. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Like, up until 6 years ago, I have lived, a relatively pain-free life. Like, I had pain every now and again when something went wrong, or I banged something, or I cut something, or something particularly bad went wrong. But chronic pain, oh my God. Like, rah. So yeah. Rottenmouth says, Sian, stop shouldering on yourself. My problem is that I have never not been in pain. Been in a lot of therapy, never occurred to me to discuss pain. Well, it was quite interesting, because towards the end of the talk therapy sessions, I was feeling depressed for other reasons, and like, I've suffered with depression for my entire life. It's just one of those things. And I was having one of those bouts as well. So there was a bunch of stuff just piling on top of each other, and my brain was doing the helpful thing of like, oh, you're completely worthless and totally shit at everything. And again, Donald Trump voice, so it started to sound a little funnier than it did before. But it was one of the whole point of the therapy sessions to begin with were pain related, for coping mechanisms of like, we tried breathing techniques, we tried meditation techniques. They actually made it worse, because I need distraction. I need like constant something going on. So that's why I listen to audiobooks to go to sleep. I have TV on in the background when I'm sewing. I cannot have silence, because if I do, my brain immediately just goes straight to here and concentrates on this. So when we did the meditation, for me, it was awful, because it was like, it released everything from your mind, and then it was just like pain. I was like, this is not fun. And she was like, that's really interesting. Like, okay, so we need to try other things. And it was a really interesting approach that I'd never experienced before. So yeah. As I say, on the NHS, we only get 6 sessions. I've had those, and I'm looking into possibly having more privately, because I think it was really helpful for me. So yeah. Darshan says, sending everyone dealing with chronic pain and other challenges huge hugs. Fingers crossed you never do. And then congrats to Caroline. Rottenfraff says, Darshana, I have chronic migraines and chronic pain, unfortunately. Michelle says, tell your folks, not your life, not your problem. If you're happy and not hurting anyone, why are people so bothered? I see my family, parents and brothers weekly. It makes me happy. Do you and live well. Exactly. Mental health matters. Absolutely. Darshana says, sorry, I understood. Me too, to Rottenmouth. And Michelle says, I'm so glad you are so open about it all. I wish more people were. I'm like, I think there's a whole generation that are just like, we need to talk about this, because this can't be normal. This cannot be normal. So yeah. Darshana says, it's an emotional thing to realise the details. Rama says, oh yes, use the silly fellows to reprogram your inner voice. Yep. Yep. That I genuinely, it's amazingly worked for me. I find it hilarious now, and it's just like, how you would never talk like this to anyone else. Why are you talking to yourself like this? No. Saskia says, maybe check with the therapist you saw what method they use. Have you, then you have something to look for. Oh, what for the, yeah, that's a good idea. I will. King Kylie says, so agree with you on Trump. Yeah, sorry, I'm so sorry to bring up a political issue, but it was the first voice that sprang to mind. Tristan says, really hope Trump supporter doesn't unsubscribe because you don't like him. You'd be surprised. Mim says, what about the Botox solution? I'm still waiting to hear from the surgeon. They said that they were going to get in contact, and that was in January. I am, as I say, going to the hospital on Wednesday for my first PENS appointment. So I'm going to go to the maxillofacial unit and just to remind them I exist. Because, yeah. I mean, the Botox solution, if it works, if it makes the pain go away or deadens the pain or lessens the pain to a degree, I am going to, because it's 400 quid to have this particular part done. It's the biggest muscle, so the most expensive, of course. I really, and I have found, she's an eye surgeon, and she's been recommended by multiple separate people who does that for migraine relief. So I will pay that myself. I will find a way to make that a thing that happens in my budget if it works. I just haven't got 400 quid to throw at it to try it if it doesn't work, which is why I want to get it done through the NHS the first time, because I want to try it. So yeah, still waiting to hear back on the Botox. Fun times. Fun times. Nimue says, giving negative thoughts a ridiculous voice is a good strategy. Leans into the adage, if you don't take serious the criticism of people you wouldn't go to advice for, even when it's internalized voices. Yeah. It's really worked for me. Jessica says, I've been listening to the book Choice Theory by Dr. William Glasser. It's such a mind shift in how I've started thinking about things. Interesting. I'll have a look. Thank you. Caroline says, thanks everyone. This new team are also supportive about life in general. Awesome. Mim says, I think Botox will help because I had it heard it a lot. Yeah, I'm like I say, willing to try everything at this point. An hour and 22 minutes in, we've sewn 2 seams. Who's surprised? Not one person. Right, let's do some the stitching. Do you know what? I'm going to do something that I never do. I'm actually going to press this first before I do my stitching. But I'm only going to press it over. I'm not going to press it in the finished configuration. Oh, I did hem my roses dress and my yellow dress. So I've only got my double circle skirt left to even out and hem. So I'm going to get that done because I really want to wear that next weekend when Buttons comes to visit. Did I get any of my fruity things photographed for Instagram? No, I did not. I made 5 fruity dresses in June. Well, I refashioned 2 and made 3. And I didn't get any of them photographed for Instagram because I'm an idiot. Never mind. Okay. So I rarely okay. I rarely press things before I understitch them, because usually I am pulling and like finger pressing the fabric to get it where I want it to be, so that the understitching helps with pressing. And I did that with this neckline. This is completely understitched and it's not rolling, and you can't see any of the white. It's also, I was worried because like my other one, the neckline is rolled a bit, but yeah, this one's not. But this fabric is really bouncy. So I decided that I've just pressed all the seam allowance over flat, and I'm going to understitch and then I'll press it around. And so I've moved my needle over to the right and I'm running the middle of my presser foot up the seam. So that hopefully should make it even for the understitching as well. So today as well, like there's no limit on how long I'm going to go today because there isn't any buttons here to entertain. So we can do longer than 2 hours if you guys would like. There's 118 of us at the moment. That's nice. So yeah. Although given I have done 2 lines of stitching in an hour and a half. It's about on par for last week as well, isn't it? I'm really excited about this dress. Okay, so that's 1 line of understitching. I'm really excited about this dress because it's another one that some of those spoonflower silk cottons that I've got could be turned into, because it needs so little fabric. I had 2.5 meters of this one. So for those 3 meter cuts, or those 2.8 meters 3 yard cuts that I have, it could work really well for those. Because it has pleats and gathers at the shoulders and then also on the darts. And the 2 that I've made it, how many have I made so far? I think I've made 2. You guys always compliment me when I wear it as well. I get so many people just say, oh, it's so nice to see you in not a giant skirt. And it's like, okay. But it's one of those ones which, because it needs so little fabric, and with those gathers in those particular areas in the slightly stiffer cotton silk blend, I think it could look really pretty. Right, so I've made 2 cap sleeves. Let's press them now. The neighbour is mowing his lawn. I'm sure you can all hear him. Teeny tiny little cap sleeves. To the point that I sew them in and still treat them as if I would, as if I was sewing a sleeveless dress. So they are done. I can go over there with the bodice. Now we've got 2 skirts to do because I'm fully lining this fabric because it's basically see-through. Got to stop beating her up, haven't I? Keep unscrewing her base as well by accident. Let's catch up with chat and then we'll do some skirt sewing. I've sewn 4 seams. That's an improvement on last week. Where did I get to with the chat? Anyway, says, you are not an idiot. Things get in the way, yelling back at those voices. Yeah. Chris says, fill me in on Buttons. Buttons is my boyfriend. I have a boyfriend. I have a boy who's a friend and also like actually my boyfriend. That's the back. Don't sew that one together. That's the front. Sew that one together. We established that last weekend, sitting on the beachfront. In the afternoon on Sunday, actually, we established that we are boyfriend and girlfriend. You are the centre front. So I'm going to sew you together. Together. Forever. Oopsie. Yes. He is 5'11". He is very pretty. If you want to see what he looks like, you can go and have a look at last week's hangout because he came and sat with us for last week's hangout. He is funny. He's geeky. He's nerdy. And he makes me smile. I like him very much. So, yeah. I have a boyfriend. And I genuinely think that the only reason that the last one did the boyfriend-girlfriend label thing as quickly as he did, ooh, hello, was because the previous time that we dated, we were just dating and I met somebody else. And so that kind of like, you know, we hadn't made it exclusive. So I think that was the only reason that we had that conversation as quickly as we did with the last one. Because everything else about him was glacial. And we all know I'm an impulsive person. So glacial probably wasn't the best fit for me. It was frustrating. And it's very nice that this one is not. So, yeah. And like, it's been 3 months and it's already a better fit and a better just overall experience all the way around. So, yeah. If you're watching this, he's probably still asleep. No, he's with his dad this weekend, so he's not watching this because he's entertaining his papa. If you watch this later, don't let this go to your head. Witty Pseudonym says, hey Peeps, finally was able to wake up in time for live for the first time in months and let it be known that I live for the big giant skirts. Everything you make is decadent. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I love my big giant skirts. I love all the clothes I make. Oh gosh, was it Mara? I think it was Mara had said she'd gone back and watched an old lookbook video, and it's a month when I was really prolific and I'd made a lot of things. And she was like, oh, it's so interesting going back and seeing some of your old lookbooks because you used to make a really wide variety of things. And I went back and watched the same video. And I was like, I hate to say it, but the only thing that I still have out of all of these pieces is the 3 dresses. All of the separates have gone. I do have one of the skirts, but it's currently been picked apart and has got a bodice cut out and it's been about to be turned into a dress. So yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with finding the thing that you love and making multiples. I mean, I've said this many times on the channel. I'm so pleased I've now got more of these dresses because I do genuinely love my maxi version of this, and now I've got like midi versions which I probably will wear slightly more often because they're midi. I find them easier to wear. But yeah, I thought that was hilarious, and it was just like I said to Mara, I was like, you know what? I think I've only got the 3 dresses left, and I think I'm turning one of the skirts into a dress. The rest of it's gone. She's just like, this is so funny. I was like, yeah. Laurel says, hello all. After I finish my breakfast, I'll be cutting bias strips to finish the neck and armholes of the sleeveless top. Hopefully there's enough scrap fabric. You can do it, and there will be. Chris says, where did you meet him? He sounds wonderful for you. Tinder. I met him on Tinder. Dashna says, Shan, are you blushing? Quite possibly. And Michelle says, Buttons is lovely. He is indeed. I am very lucky that I met him. And he is mine. So, yeah. Yeah, look at me getting all possessive. No, he does. He makes me smile. So, and he makes me laugh as well, which is really, really important and something that I really do prioritize in a relationship. Is like, I want somebody that has a similar sense of humor to me, because I enjoy laughing. So, and he likes my parents and he hangs out with my parents. We play cards together on a Sunday, and you know, it's nice. It's nice. Conchetta's here. Hey everyone, slept late today. Just arrived for the Buttons conversation. Sian, it is so wonderful to see you so happy. Thank you. Sarah says, how has your concept of sewing in collections changed since you realised you don't really like separates? This is a really good question, Sarah, and I have this collection here, and I want to kind of revisit some bits and pieces. Like my 9345, they made the 5 pieces from one pattern. I want to do that concept again with this, but I'm thinking, rather than go for shirts, because the blue dress will work really well with this color palette, obviously, I want to do I think I want to prioritize making dresses over shirts, but dresses that can be layered under other things. So there's a bunch of stuff in here that's going to be dresses, and then the leftovers will get turned into tops that will go with some of the, like there's a denim down here that's going to get turned into a skirt and a waistcoat. This is some Paul Smith navy suiting that's going to go in with this, and that's going to be a cropped jacket, a waistcoat, trousers, possibly a skirt if I have enough. I've got 6 meters. So I think what I've done in the past is I wanted to prioritize making separates that go with lots of different things, and I just not got it quite right for me. And I think that is because I've not got the right balance of shirt and stuff, like shirt, skirts and things like that. Having said that, I do love the 9345 denim skirt. It's too big for me now, so Mum has it. So that's what that denim's going to be. And I've got some more of the Anaconda Antithesis. I've got the twill one of that, so that's going to be a pinafore dress. And I think I'm just going to prioritize making shirts or shirt dresses with the big sleeves, but making them so that they can go under the pinafores and the skirts and things like that. So making sure that the skirts on those dresses are longer. So it's getting the separates look, but then having the dress, which will get worn more often, if that makes sense. So yeah, but when I do the video for this collection, I'm going to go into that a little bit more as well. Oh, I think I said earlier, yes, I did say earlier, Sew Over It, I've got 50% off the Summer Dreaming ebook, which is a really great saving because it's 30 quid usually, so it's £15. The Sorrento jacket is in that. There's other things in there that are gorgeous, but the Sorrento's in that one, which is 15 quid for that pattern alone is really good value for money. Sherwood's have 50% off their sale items at the moment, and they've got some really gorgeous things in the sale. And then Lily and Mimi have 20% off for their birthday weekend, which I think finishes tomorrow. It's linked in the Peeps group as well. The reason I say that is because there's some fruity jersey in there. I filled my basket up. My basket came to like 120 quid. And I was just like, so no, I'm being good because I don't need any more fabric, but I've got some like jersey dresses that I wanted to make out of the fruity jersey fabrics. But again, I was thinking of doing those in such a way that the skirt of the dress would be short enough that I could wear it under the denim skirt or under the pinafore dress, and then not have the skirt of the original layering dress peek out. Does that make sense, Sarah? Hopefully it does. Jessica's leaving. Good night. Good night. And she's a good night. All good night. Darshan says, hope it was a good sleep, Conchetta. Jessica says, I love you found the clothes you love, and I'm on my journey there too. Yeah. Again, like I think Mara was saying, she was like, I only used to wear dresses for formal occasions. And you know, again, there's nothing wrong with that. Dress how makes you happy. Like that's one thing that we have. Well, not everybody, and that's another issue, obviously. But majority of us have control over how we present ourselves to the world and what we wear and what we want to wear. And I dress to make me happy. I've said it many, 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 many times before. It would be really easy, and I do some days come down here in pajamas. My dressing gown is over there because this dress was down here today, so I came down in my slip. So yeah, dressing gown over the top, just so I didn't freak out the neighbours, because neighbour that side can see. So sometimes, you know, it'd be really easy for me to come down here in PJs and sit and sew in PJs and sit and sew in my sweats and stuff like that. And I've made myself pretty sweats because of that. And I find that I don't wear them as frequently as I used to, because I choose to dress like this every day just for me, just to be at home and put on a pretty dress. I mean, obviously you guys are here. There's 107 of you at the moment. But I think that's one of the great joys of life, is that you can dress how you want. The majority of us can dress how we want and wear what we want. And you know, wear what makes you happy and experiment until you find out. Like, you know, that's what Trouser Month's going to be about. I may come out of Trouser Month with 13 pairs of trousers. Not that I'm thinking I'm going to make that many, but I've got, like I say, fabric back here for about 13 pairs of trousers. I may come out of that and just be like, these are still not for me. I just want to wear dresses. But I think it's going to be an interesting ride working out what works for me and what doesn't, and if a well-fit, well-made pair of trousers changes my mind about how I wear them. So yeah. Dasha says, ooh, talk to me about how you do collections. How do you split them down? So this is the Anaconda Antithesis. So I've got Anaconda Antithesis print on the buttermilk and the blue background, and then on the cotton lawn, the Lena crepe for a skirt, and also the twill. And then I've just taken the colours out of that print. It's the same as I did with Savannah. Took the colours out of that print, and then I've added to it from there. And I again think that stripes, checks, and spots are neutral. So I've got some neutral things that actually were going to go with Savannah, but I think could go really well with this one. And then I've also got some brown polka dots in here, which actually I think are in there, that are going to go in with that one. And then I've got a Robert Kaufman flannel in here. And I was thinking of doing the Bruyere shirt, and I think I still will do the Bruyere shirt with that one. Because I can wear the Bruyere under a skirt, but I can wear it over skinny jeans, and I want to make skinny jeans out of the railroad denim, which is a stripe. And then I've got like textures in there as well. So I've got like some cream suiting, which has got like a waffly texture. It's like a rayon suiting. And I've got a lot of it. So oh yeah, that's 14 pairs of trousers. So I'm going to make a pair of trousers out of that. So I pick a focus print, which tends to be the large scale print. If you give me a second to finish this fifth scene of the stream, I'll get the print out so you can have a look at it. It's more snakes. Because we all know how I feel about snakes. I was actually looking on Etsy last night for clip art, because I have decided that I want to go back to my method that I'd used last year for my bullet journal, which is completely using Canva. This year I tried to use a bunch of washi tapes and stuff like that. And whilst I kind of like how it's turned out, I much prefer the months that have got these stickers on them than I do the washi tape ones. I'm not artistic. I'm just not artistic enough. But then I found this artist who does clip art, which I will then be able to import into Canva. And it's Skulls and Snakes. It's amazing. They're an amazing artist. Let's see if I can all of my favorites. Search Schnick. Yeah, so this is the lighter one that she's done. It's My Wonder Wonder. So I'm going to buy myself a couple of these, and then I'm going to use it to make my bullet journal spreads that I'll print out on transparent sticker paper. Oh, here we go. Here's the dark snakes. So it's a little bit kind of creepy, but also absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I'm going to buy myself a couple of those. They're £6 each, I think. Oh, this one's got more in it, so it's £21. So I'm not going to buy that one. I'm going to buy this small. Yeah, they're like £6 and 9p. And I'm going to buy those, take them into Canva, and then use them in Canva. This one's got less of the skeletons. It's still got the bones in there, but it's less of the other one. The more expensive one had more individual elements that you can then arrange yourself. So that's what I'm going to be using a B5 notebook next year, so a bigger notebook. And I've already spoken to the people that made my A5 cover, this leather cover, because they do a brown one with clocks all over it, very steampunk. And because I love this one, absolutely love this one, and it's got my kind of like book in it, and I've got my like proper diary and then my messy notebook at the back, which has worked really, really well for me. There's one thing I didn't like about bullet journals is I didn't want to make messy notes in it, so I've got like a messy notebook and then my proper diary. And I absolutely love this cover. I left it out in the sun, which is why it's kind of bleached. I think it's really interesting how it came out. But they do another one which is brown, which has got clocks worked all all over the face, and I was just like, ooh, I'll see if I can show you. And I was like, I can't. They're expensive. I can't justify buying another one. And then I was like, well, if you use a bigger notebook, you can. This is the one I'm talking about. So I'm going to have a B5 size one of those for my bullet journal next year. And, you know, that just makes me happy. There's also a leather bound A4 notebook, which is incredibly expensive, that it's not one that you can take things in and out of. It's bound, like you can see the pages are actually bound into signatures and bound into the cover. It's 150 quid for an A4 notebook. It's incredibly expensive, and I would probably be way too scared. Oh no, it's on sale at the moment. Got 15% off. It's 126.50. Bargain. Again, I don't have the money to be buying this at the moment, so I won't. But it's one of those things where it's just like, oh, it's got leaves on it. I need that. I need it now. So yeah, I have no reason or excuse to buy that. And I probably would be utterly petrified of using it. But I still want it. But I won't. I'm going to buy the cover because then I can put like notebooks into it. But yeah, I'm going to get those clip art ones and make my own kind of like monthly artworks. Like I think I can show you June's without, like, I haven't done the wording on any of the I haven't done like, so these are just like stickers I got from Amazon, and I much prefer those to the let me show you. Yeah, here we go. So here's June. This is clip art from Canva, and I love how that's looked. But I wasn't going to do that. I was doing washi tapes. This is all washi tapes, and I had printed out on that sticker paper the Januaries and everything, and it looked terrible over the see-through thing. Was kind of cloudy looking over the washi tape. It did not look good, and I was so disappointed. So I haven't actually written on anything yet, which I'm really sad about. But I think next year I've worked out Canva works for me, so I'm gonna buy those clip art ones that I showed you with the snakes, and it's gonna be like a really sort of like light and dark snaky thing for the whole of the year, and I'm gonna really enjoy it. Because the other thing is, I don't want to set my bullet journals up month by month because it won't get done. I like doing it all in one go and sitting there and just getting it done. So yeah, at some point in probably November, I will sit down and get that all done. So yeah. I need a bio break. I'm going to be back in a second. I know you can see the mannequin. Don't move it. I will be back momentarily. I'm back. Stop talking about me. I mean, you can keep talking about me if you want. It feels really weird saying that to a room with nobody in it, except there's like 111 of you over there. Hello, I'm back. I'm back. Hello. Right, where did we get to with the chat? I'm massively behind. Kajeta says, yep, wonderful. Wow. I'm going to grab a coffee before I chat again. Sorry, don't worry. Mim says, my husband and I are together for 13 years and we are laughing and joking every day. I think that's very important for a healthy and happy relationship, definitely. Danny says, the £15 is worth it for the Sorrento jacket pattern alone for the summer dreaming. Highly, highly agree. Highly recommend. Highly, highly recommend. Saskia says, I'm about to sew the skirt onto the McCall's 8083. Nice. Darshana says, I spent £500 last week on bits to buy Annie stuff and extras. Now to do more than buy. And only 32 likes on the stream. Oh, I can see there's 110 of us and 74 likes on my screen. So thank you very much, everybody. Sue says, my favourite is the Sew Over Ultimate Trousers and Season of East or Winter. And Seasons of East, Winter in London. Interesting. I am excited about trying the Ultimate Trousers. I am going to give them a go. I want to do something stupid though. 2 secs. It's probably, oh, I don't know if it is really stupid. You guys are probably going to shout at me. Would it be stupid? Yeah, it's going to be stupid to do them in this, isn't it? If I make a top to go with it, a little fitted top to go with it, what do you think? Because this is super stretchy. It's probably not heavy enough weight for trousers, to be fair. I haven't had that out of the cupboard for a while. Forgotten how lightweight it is. Oh look, there's my bag of stuff that I need to mend as well. Fun time. Let's just shut the door on that. Pretend that doesn't exist. That's how life works, right? Something I don't want to deal with is put it behind the door and shut the door. But yeah, I want to give. Sorry. I want to give the Ultimate Trousers a try for sure. For sure. Let's see. Chris says, "What is your favourite fabric to sew?" Cotton lawn. Favourite to wear? Viscose. Favourite to sew? Cotton lawn. Definitely. Ooh, silk peony. That's really fun to sew. Darshana says, have you held a real snake? Yes. Yes, I have held many snakes. If I could have, I would have had a snake as a pet, but my mum said no, which is very sad. But I have a photo of me from a fair with a giant boa constrictor wrapped all around me and me just being like, and my mum being, yes, I've held quite a few snakes. I like snakes very much. Sue says that's amazing clip art. It is indeed. Rotten Ralph says creepy beautiful is definitely beautiful to me. Yeah, those I will put the link for the artist in the description of this after the fact. So yes. Witty Pseudonym says, sounds like you would enjoy a Sticky Club sticker subscription. I get the pop pack and vintage pack, and I get so many stickers of similar aesthetics, bones and flowers, etc. I do not need, I have an entire A4 binder up there of stickers. I do not need more stationery. I have an entire wall of stationery behind you guys that you don't see very often because I'm always filming away from it. I do not need any more stationery. Do not give me new stationery obsessions to obsess about. Mim says, ooh, that steampunk notebook cover. I know, isn't it gorgeous? And Saskia says, love the clip art. Yes. Laura says, the fear of spoiling a beautiful blank book is real. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I love friction pens, although the paper that's in that leaf is an A4 book as well. I don't know what I'd do with it, but I want it. I want it. But yeah, I don't think the paper would enjoy being rubbed away. I think it's like textured paper as well. So yeah. Stitch Rip Repeat says, is there a code for the discount in Sherwood's, please? Yes, there is. Let me see if I've still got it. I have in here. The discount is wow 50 at checkout. You have to have spent 150 quid though. So if you spend 150 quid, you get 50% off of the sale, and it has to be sale items. So go to the sale section. So you are basically spending £75. You have to spend £75 to get the discount, but you'll get 150 quid's worth of fabric, and it's wow 50, all capitals. I think it ends this evening. Saskia says, good time to stretch and hydrate, everyone. Olivia says, good morning from Iowa. Sean. She says, are we going through fabric? There you are. No, I'm sewing. I've sewn 5 seams. I'm gonna sew some more in a second once I've caught up with the chat. Rotten Rouse says, you won't wear patterns on the bottom. I know. Darshana says, wait, but you don't like pattern trousers. I know. I was thinking, like I say, making a top, so making it like a jumpsuit, like the Jane. I was thinking that. And it's a way of practicing with a fabric that I've got lots of that I'm not too precious about. I know, I don't wear pattern bottoms. Susan says, hello, sorry I'm late, got a bit carried away sewing the Rita blouse and forgot. No worries, welcome. Sue says, needs to be like a cotton sateen, I think. Yeah, I think maybe this one is slightly too thin, in all honesty. This might make a good wiggle dress. It might make a good wiggle dress. Maybe I need to do that because it's got a lot of stretch in it. Nimue says, I love the roses for trousers, but I don't mind prints for the bottoms. A faux jumpsuit with a matching top might get worn and look really cute. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like pedal pushers with one of the Gertie kind of like bustier tops. That's what I'm thinking. Sue says, for ultimate trousers, Andy made some gorgeous ones in the Lady McElroy cotton sateen. Yes, so has Rachel, but I want to make a pinafore from that one, that one and that one. Need to get those out actually. Laurel says, you avoid trousers and you avoid print on your lower half. I wouldn't use that fabric for trousers. I know. I knew you guys were going to tell me this. I knew. Darshana says, maybe you should rescue a snake. Plenty being found all over the UK. Again, I live under my mum's roof and my mum would kill me. And Chiana would probably be like, no rope, yay! So, no, I don't think it would be fair for the snake at the moment. But maybe in the future. Rotten Ralph says, my mother said no snakes after a few stowed away in the basket after she took the clothes off the line. Oh, yeah. Joshua says, only 32 likes on the live peep. Do pattern pockets and a lining. Rotten Ralph says, wearable mock-up seems reasonable, Shan. And Joshua says, you wanted us to tell you. I know. You need you guys to be the voice of reason because, as I've said many times, I have worked out I don't like prints on my bottom half, and that's definitely a print. It's a dark print. Maybe I need to do a wiggle dress out of this one because it is stretchy, and I do have a lot of it. I've given away the dress that I've made out of this. I've made the So La-Di-Da Sweetheart dress out of this because I found the sleeves too restrictive. But I'm thinking if I did like the little grown-on sleeves or a cap sleeve and a wiggle dress in this fabric, because it is super stretchy. That's why I was thinking for those bottoms, because it might end up looking like it might be more of what I want from those kind of trousers, like more like uni fit, but it's also probably not heavier weight enough for those trousers, to be honest. But maybe wearable muslin fodder, because I have got quite a bit of this, as you can see. So, because I do like it an awful lot. And it's roses, so it fits with the theme of the year. And it's also navy, because the theme for the year seems to be red, navy, and roses. Okay, now there, so you're going to go back in there. I'm still going to ignore that bag of projects that need to be fixed. Right. I was going to show you guys the print, wasn't I? My snaky print. This is Anaconda Antithesis. So it's very similar to Cobra Corsage, but has different snakes and butterflies. No, in fact, this has moths and bugs. And that's a butterfly, yeah. So it's a bit more muted. So I bought this before I had my colours done. It's got yellows in it, so I'm planning on wearing like, I've actually, let me show you the choker that I want to buy as well. But so I take a print like that, and then that'll be the focus print, and then I've got stripes, checks, and polka dots to go in with that, and I'll take the print and I'll take the colours out of the print to kind of like work out which bits, like, you know, which colours are going to go with things. And then so for these ones, there's some prints in here that I'm not going to turn into trousers because they're patterned. So they're going to be, pinafore dresses. My last piece of Cobra Corsage, although I do plan on buying a little bit more in the bright colours that got released. So I've got Cobra Corsage, the denim twill and the Savannah denim twill, and then this one that I got from Ibiza, which is absolutely beautiful. And I was planning on making a skirt with this, but I need to make a pinafore dress with it, or just a dress with it, because I don't wear skirts, pattern skirts, we know this. But they were in the trouser section, and they shouldn't have been. Now it's just, there is a print in here, there's a border print, and that is going to be made into trousers. And it is going to look glorious. But that's the only print that's left in there now. So I feel better. But yeah, what I would do, so for this collection, that's just all leaves. So there's a whole lot of prints that don't go together in that one. And then for the citrus collection, majority of it I went through and picked out anything that had fruit on it. And then I picked out all the fabrics that had similar colours. There we go. So I've got some bright orange in there. This green's going to go in there. I've already made up the yellow t-shirts, so they're going to go in there. So it was kind of like picking out prints that I liked. And I don't know if I'd ever clash any of the prints in there together. But the solids have been taken from the prints or the colour of the prints that are in there, if that makes sense. So it's going back to like Sarah and Dashna asking about how collections went together. I'm out of breath. Why am I out of breath? Right. Now, can I remember from these ones, which is the front and which is the back? Did I do my sensible thing of putting in? I did. Green pin for the front and orange pin for the back. Yes, orange pin for the back. So that's the back centre back seam. So that means they're the side seams. And then the green pin centre front seam. That means they're the side seams. So this needs to be sewn as well because we're fully lining this dress because this fabric is see-through. Fun times. Let's see. Rotten Mouse says, I swear I didn't ever put Schnack in her basket. Wiggle dress for the roses. Schnack. Yeah, I think the wiggle dress for the roses as well. I'm thinking wearable muslin for maybe the trousers as well, just to try it and make, if I like it, make a top to go with it so that it gets worn as a jumpsuit. I'm thinking like the Jane jumpsuit from Gertie, possibly. Dashna says, I can't see you in that muted colour somehow. What, the navy with the red roses on it? Oh, you mean the Anaconda Antithesis? Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to show you the collar I was going to buy, didn't I? Let's see. Guild. Oops, I can't spell. Yes, that word. Thank you. I want to buy myself a really chunky gold necklace. And I want one that is quite, like I said, chunky, but not over the top. So it's like a, so it's not too much of like a statementy piece. Like this one is absolutely gorgeous, but it's very statement. So I wouldn't want to wear that every day, day in, day out, as it were. But then where's the one that I really like? Where's it gone? Oh, this one. I really liked this one because it had the different types of chain on it. Maybe not quite so tight to the neck, maybe a little bit looser. But when I have Nicola, who, bless her, she's so patient with me. I need to sort out an appointment. We're going to meet up in September. I need to message her back. we are going to sort out like a styling day, and I'm going to ask her to help me style some separates. Hopefully I'll have some separates to show her by then. But she was like, yeah, you can, like, the V is important if you've got a color that's not great for your skin tone right next to your face. And then like if I've got, because I'm wearing a gold necklace all the time now, and I've dug up my nana's gold bracelet that she left me when she passed away. She left all of the granddaughters one of her gold bracelets, and so I'm thinking like a gold chain, like a chunkier gold chain all the time, helps with colors that aren't necessarily colors that should be worn next to your skin, but actually that bone ivory color is one that's in my color wheel. So that ivory color there, and then the blues are good. It's definitely a more muted color palette than necessarily I probably should wear, but I think I can make it work for me. I've also got some pearls that I want to wear, and then these earrings, which I have the malachite ones, which I've got on today, and then I've also got lapis lazuli. They also have, she does one with lots of different coloured stones in them, but she does one with pearls, and I'm thinking about getting myself the pearl version as well, because I really do like pearls. And I have some green pearls that are Baroque shaped, which I love and wear quite a lot when I do wear my bigger chunkier jewelry. So yeah, I think it's like when it's, from what I understand of like the color theory and seasons and stuff like that, is when it's not necessarily your perfect color, you kind of like V it away from your face and then put on your color jewelry like closer to your face. So yeah. Eliza says, anyone have any thoughts on the Lady McElroy Lena Lightning fabric? Are they good for coats? Yes. Yes. I was the one that renamed it Lena Lining. It used to just be Lena Crepe. Yes, if you look at any of the Lena Lining images, you'll see my coat on there. And yeah, I highly recommend them for coat linings. What I will say is you want to get one of their lotus linings that matches, and you can order one of the Lena linings and put in the notes, like order a meter of the lotus lining and just say, please do the best color match to the Lena lining that I've ordered for the lotus lining, because you want your lotus lining for your sleeves. So you want really slippery for the sleeves. Again, this is my personal preference. I'm not saying you have to do this. But yeah, it's me that told them to rename it, because they were saying that they weren't getting very many people ordering the Lena Crepe because it was polyester. And I was like, I have to be honest, I really like it, but I don't want to wear it as a dress. I use it for lining my coats and stuff. And they were like, ooh, good idea, let's rebrand. And so they did. So yeah, I like it. I like it. And I actually do have a couple of skirts. I've got the Anaconda Antithesis. I've got 4 meters of it back there. My best friend bought it for me for Christmas. So I'm going to make myself a 5-panel circle skirt from that. And I'm going to line it in Viscose Marrakein. So the viscose is next to my skin and the polyester is not. But yeah, personally, I'm a fan and I named it. Jojo says, swimming against the tide a bit, but do you like patterned trews on the Sirocco, but only when the top matches? Making patterned trews and matchy top in precious fabric and see how, in an unprecious fabric and see how you get on. Yes, 100%. Like that, the skirt that I'd made in the Jungle Tropics, Lady McElroy, denim, you know, the satin, the stretchy twill stuff, the stuff that I've just got out there. I have made, I've got, I think it's still in here, but I've got enough to make a little tie front shirt. And that's why I've kept that skirt, is because I can imagine putting the tie front shirt on with that skirt and just being like, yes. And actually I've bought more of it. I have bought more of that fabric. Where's it gone? Because I bought more of it to make trousers, and I'm not going to make trousers out of it. What have I done with it? Where did you go? Why you hide from me? Why are you hiding? Where'd you go? Jojo, it's hiding from me. There it is, found it. How many trousers did we get up to? 15? I'm not going to make trousers from this one. I've made bags from this as well. I'm probably going to make a pinafore dress from this one. And this is one of the ones that I told them that they should release this on Viscose, and they've not done it yet. Like Anaconda Antithesis should be on Viscose as well. Just saying, Lady McElroy. So yeah, but that's why I've kept that skirt, because whilst I don't like it on me as just a skirt with plain on top, which is how I'd wear it because I'm not very good at pattern clashing, if I put a shirt on with it that's the matching print, which I have fabric to do, I think I'm going to like it. So yeah. My head is weird, I know. Dasha says, yes, the antithesis. Good idea to Jojo. Maybe you need a snake winding necklace. I love malachite, and you can't go wrong with pearls. Malachite is absolutely amazing. Love it. And yeah, I don't think I can go wrong with pearls either. So I think I'm going to get myself some of these earrings. I think they're £20. And like I say, she does them in every colour, stone. I can easily see, because I wear these a lot, and I like actually stacking these in my lapis lazuli ones, because I've got 3 holes in this ear and 2 in this one. So I like stacking hoops on these ears as well. So I'm just like, oh, I could have every colour stone that she does, because they're all awesome. And they're all gold. So yeah. Eliza says, thanks, Shan. Wasn't sure if I could use it for coat or just for dress, and appreciate the insight on the lotus lining tip. Yeah, highly recommend. And it was my idea. So yeah. I've lined quite a few coats with it actually, and really like it. So Dasha says, who is she that makes the earrings? Let's see. Earrings. Pearl. Lucinda Ella. Lucinda, capital ELLA. Lucinda Ella, the 1950. There's only one of the pearls left, so don't steal them. But she does make them to order, so. But look how pretty they are. Look how pretty. And yeah, she does, like I say, do them in all of the stones. Appetite. Oh, yeah. Oh, oh, oh no, I've seen new colours, look. We got turquoise. I need that one. See, this is what I was saying about my pattern, my Deer and Doe pattern collection. Peridot, light appetite, small turquoise, aquamarine. Oh, I need some more. Oh dear. Ooh, ooh, pink tourmaline, yes please. Amber, yeah. Tiny turquoise, yeah. Citrine. Citrine's apparently in the kind of like mythology behind stones. Citrine is meant to attract money. Maybe I ought to get myself a pair of those. Smoky quartz, yes. Green agate, lapis lazuli I have. Small garnet, amazing. Amethyst, lovely. Black Swarovski, yes please. Ooh, rutilated quartz. I haven't seen those before. They're nice. Pink ruby quartz. I need them all. I need all of them. She hasn't got the malachite ones listed, but she does make malachite ones. But like I say, she doesn't always have like masses of stock, because she does make them to order. So yeah, if she doesn't have the stone that you want, ask. Sea sediment jasper as well is really pretty. I have this purple sea sediment jasper chunky necklace. I don't wear my chunky necklaces very much anymore. I've kind of got into the dainty jewelry thing. I want to get back into my chunky necklaces, because I have so many of the beautiful ones. Darshana says, ooh, her rectangle hoops are gorgeous. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's a new obsession unlocked. Actually, maybe because Buttons, bless him, he was just like, oh, because we were talking about love languages, and one of mine is gift giving. And he's like acts of service for me is how I show love. But he was just like, Dasha's saying, ooh, feather earrings. She's got some good ones. He was saying to me, he's like, oh, he's like, I need to have like a list going or something of like stuff that you've mentioned that you like, because it would be really cool just to be able to treat you every now and again to little things. And it's just like, to me, 20 quid is expensive for a pair of, it's expensive. It's not expensive for a pair of gold wrapped, like precious, semi-precious stone earrings. But you know, I'm not expecting 20 quid to be spent on me every weekend, but I need to send him the link to that. I said to him, I'll send you the link to my Etsy, because, you know, like, just work your way through Etsy. But I've done the same for him. I've got a list of things that he likes and things that he doesn't like, so that I can be like, you know, like if I see things out, like he really likes the crispy M&Ms, M&Ms. So if I ever go to the shop but I know he's coming, I'll always make sure that there's some, because I've given him the bedside cabinet drawer. Chiana's unimpressed because she had both of them. She now only has one drawer. I've given him one. So he does have to have her cat treats in there because it's a really big tub. But yeah, so whenever he comes over, there's some M&Ms waiting for him and stuff. And like, Dad's going shopping and he's told me what his favorite brand of coffee is, so I've put that on the list. But gift giving isn't necessarily like things that cost money. Gift giving is also like, oh, I saw this meme and it made me think of you. It made me think that you would laugh. And then like, oh, I went out on a walk and I saw this pretty picture of something, or I saw this pretty thing and I took a picture of it because I thought you'd like it. It's like my screensaver at the moment is a photo I took from my favorite spot on the island. And they're bee orchids. And we went up there for a picnic and put our blanket down and we were right next to the bee orchids. I'm just like, oh, they're cute. And now that's my screensaver. So yeah, it's just little things. Like, gift giving doesn't have to cost money. Or at least that's my interpretation of it. So yeah. Do I have any drugs down here? Oh, I do, because my drugs are wearing off. I can feel that they are. I've also put drugs on the list. Nothing overly exciting, just, you know, like paracetamol, but I need mine are wearing off. I'm still waffling. It's 2 hours and 21 minutes. Are you guys enjoying yourselves? Like, I'm not going to go on forever and ever because, you know, there's other live hangouts to do today as well, obviously. Beyond the pink door. I've got to not buy all the fabric that she's like, oh, look at the new fabric I got, especially for you, Shan. It's like, you need it. Did you see Rachel's video the other day where she got that linen viscose with the leaves on it? She bought the last 2 meters because otherwise I was going to send her back to the shop to get me some. I haven't got any money to buy any more fabric, but it's just like, I need it. Blah. Do not like taking pills. And do like orange and raspberry squash, so that's good. Darshan says that's so cute. What, the gift giving thing? Yeah, I think so. It's just it's one of those ones that it's like the reason I do it is like to be like, oh, I saw something and it made me think of you and I want to share that with you. That's why I like doing it. So yeah. Sue says, yes, love that leaf fabric. I mean, isn't it amazing? If she does ever let me come and fondle her fabric, then that one might have to just accidentally go missing. Whoops. Jojo says, sorry, did you say something? I'm distracted virtual jewelry shopping. Sorry. If you do buy anything from her, tell her that I sent you. They're just so pretty and dainty, and I mean, there's 18 pairs of these hoop earrings with different stones in them, so that, you know, that's like a lot of money. I get it, it's nearly 400, but so it's 360 quid's worth of jewelry. So if you bought all of them all in one go, but I actually don't think £20 for a pair of these kind of earrings is actually that bad a price. So yeah. Chris says, I have really enjoyed the live, but that must away to my bed as it's after 10 p.m. Thank you, Sean. Thank you for joining us. It was lovely to see you again. Mary Ellen says, good morning all, late to the party. Sean, what dress are you wearing? The McCall 7974. I finished it and it's got oranges on it and I love it. And I have my malachite earrings in to match. Olivia says, I agree with you. You don't have to spend money to show love. I cook. I love to make food that people have. I love to make food that people have said that they like. I put together buffet style meals because my grandkids like very different dishes. That's really, really lovely. And again, that's so that's acts of service. And again, it's one of his love languages. It's how he likes doing things. And like he's showing me pictures of like furniture and stuff that he's made and like little things that he's done around houses because somebody's mentioned something. And he's just like, oh yeah, I could do that. I could fix that. I can do this. So that's like how he shows love. And for me, it's gift giving. I acts of service a little bit as well because I enjoy cooking and those kind of things. I mean, I think everybody has every experiences and shows love in every type of love language, but I think there are more important ones over others that make people feel specifically appreciated. Actual sewing. Who's impressed? I am. Because the minute you started talking about collections, it would have been really easy to get this one out and start fabric fondling because I'm now thinking about like, ooh, there's a fabric down there that's not in the right cubbyhole and then that suiting could go there. So I might sew these skirt pieces together and then get the fabric out to bundle it. And Darshana says, oh, sorry, Witty Pseudonym says, anyone who thinks gifts must be purchased hasn't received a flower crown immediately melts. Oh, yeah. My best friend has an amazing talent for picking flowers while she's out and just bringing them home and making them look shop, you know, like expensive shop bought bouquets. Yeah, gift giving is not one of those love languages where you're like, oh God, that person is so materialistic. Like I say, memes and stones. You know, like penguins. Penguins give each other rocks. Like boy penguins go and find pretty rocks and give their girlfriends or their future wives rocks, and that I like. I had an ex that didn't have a lot of money, and he used to like go out every evening because he was a club promoter. And there was a bathroom that had one of those like trough style sinks that had loads of little pebbles in it. And he brought me one of those home. He'd run it underwater and it was soapy water, so it was clean. But yeah, he'd like brought that home from one of the clubs that he'd been to. And he was just like, oh, I thought you'd like this because it was a pretty shape. And it was a really nice shape. It was perfectly round. And not all of them were, because I knew the club that he was in. So yeah, he you know, it was just like, oh, I saw my giant pigeon. It's drinking out of Dad's water. That's an eagle in pigeon clothing. That's huge. Debbie, you know how you said you saw big pigeons while you were here? This one's bigger than that. Giant pigeon. Yeah, the rock was it was nice because it was I thought of you whilst I was on my evening out, and I thought this thing would, you know, I thought you'd like that I saw, which I did because it was sweet. So yeah, gift giving is not like you must shower me with expensive stuff all of the time, and otherwise how will I know you love me? My interpretation of it is that. Let's see. Where did I get to? Darshana says haha to Jojo. Olivia says that says a lot about him in a very positive way. I think so too. Darshana says, I will have her on my list for my payday treat after the 9th. Nice. Mim says, yeah, fabric watching. Can you sew a little faster? Yeah, I want to get the I want to get at least the skirt pieces sewn together. Um, Not necessarily finish the French seams because that involves quite a lot of ironing, and ironing is fairly antisocial. So let's get the outer French seams finished for the lining and the outer, and then we can fabric fondle. Olivia says, "A man that pays attention." I know, right? I mean, honestly, I think I told you guys this before. Like the thing that made me realize that I was in love with my ex was that I had casually mentioned that I wanted cling film and fabric softener, and then the next time I arrived, they were there in the kitchen, and there was no big song and dance made about the fact that he'd done it. He just listened, written it down, and then the next time he went shopping, he bought them for me, and they were there, and it was really sweet. And he'd listened, and that was just like, oh my god, I love you, which is a really stupid thing to fall in love over. But it wasn't, because it was the listening thing. Yeah, it makes a big difference. Darshana says, sweet sleep to Chris. I love how you wear 40s style dresses but look so modern and on trend. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think I know I talked about making like a romantic era evening gown at the beginning of the year, because I was talking about hoop skirts and how I was hoping to repurpose a hoop skirt for the butterfly gown and for that. And I really want to make that, and at some point I will. But it's one of those things as well. It's like it's not going to be remotely accurate to the era, and I don't care. And I'm not going to try. I don't want to hand sew a bunch of things because sewing machines weren't invented in the 1860s. You know, like I want to make it on my machine, and I want to use modern fabric and modern trim and stuff like that, and modern bling. I just like the silhouette, and yeah. So I have plans. I have plans for many things, as you guys know. As you guys know. Witty Pseudonym says, pretty rocks are kryptonite for my magpie brain. Yeah. I've recently learnt that if you feed crows when they bring you stuff, and then you can train them to bring you more stuff of the stuff that you actually like by giving them better treats. I need to make friends with my crows out here, because we've got crows and rooks and ravens. Got many corvids floating around out here, and in giant gangs. And they clearly like the peanuts. So I want to train one to bring me pretty shiny things, because my magpie brain would love that as well. Although I don't think Dad would be overly pleased with me for encouraging them, because he wants all the little birdies, like the tits and the chaffinches and things like that. He gets annoyed with the giant Jurassic pigeons, because they steal all of the food. Yeah, I wonder how much our bird food bill is monthly. Rotten Rap says Jurassic pigeons. Yes. Olivia says, oh, my husband's a penguin. One day he went out and found a lovely rock and brought it home for me. Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like that you can go out and, be wandering around and then be like, oh, this thing is shiny or pretty or something, and it just reminds me of my person, and so let me send it to them. And for me, a lot of mine is memes, and his is memes as well. We send each other a lot of memes, and that makes us both very happy. So yeah. Dashna says we should do a fabric fondle Zoom so everyone can get help turning their sashes into collections. Definitely, that would be very cool. Darshana, which of the time zones is going to be good for you for one of the Zoom calls? We need to, I was going to say to Mum if she wanted to come down this afternoon, because we need to reorganise her stash, because her stash has gotten massively out of hand. And we need to sort that out because it's driving me batty. Yeah, we need to do that at some point. Caroline says, thanks, Sean. That has just solved my what to get for Sylvia's 40th birthday at the end of the month. Oh, awesome. Which colour, which stones are you getting her? Olivia says, like you said, whether it's a meme or a picture is irrelevant. But it's the fact that you're thinking about that person. I think that means more. Exactly. Rotten Mouse says, sewing machines were invented in the 1700s, just not marketed. Ooh, interesting. But still, I'm still like, there's lots of people out there who are like, yes, I'm going to hand sew this thing because the sewing machines were not readily available yet. And it's just like, no, no, not for me. Rotten Ralph says, salt-free roasted peanuts. Your English crows will like them as much as my Colorado ones did. Yeah, we do have like those in quite a few of the bird feeders outside. We have about 40 bird feeders in the front and back gardens of different types of bird foods and stuff like that. So yeah. Darshana says it's very much the thoughtfulness rather than the value of the gift. If it's the detail of knowing what and why, it would be something you like. Laurel says Reddit had a story of a person who befriended crows and they got their neighbours to do the same. Then one day an elderly neighbour had a fall outside and the crows alerted everyone to come help. That's so cool. I've seen ones where people are like, yes, I've given them extra good money, extra good rewards when they brought me money, and so now they go and mug people. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I just want shiny things. So yeah, Nimue says historically inspired dream dresses are perfectly valid. Authenticity is nice and can be educational, but it's no must. As a historian, I think it's just as important to be aware that you're taking liberties. Yeah, exactly. Rock Mouse says to Laurel, I believe it. And Darshana says, I can imagine you bribing the crows. Yeah. I remember going to the butterfly farm on the last day it was open because it was really, really reduced in price because it's really expensive to go otherwise. And so just walking through, and there was a lot of the butterflies where they were saying they're like on their last legs kind of thing. They were just, they were looking a little bit draggled and all that, but it was still wonderful and magical, and I enjoyed it. But they're sort of standing there next to their feeders like this, and then suddenly they land on your giant butterfly or moth lands in your hand. It's like, I am a Disney princess. And I can imagine doing that with the crows and just being like, yes, come and talk to me. Caroline says pink ruby for her ruby birthday. Ah, of course. Good choice. Rotten Ralph says historically seamstresses would go for the easiest thing, sewing machine. Darshana says I'm in the UK. Ah, okay. Is the 11 p.m. one going to be too late for you then? I'm going to do a 6 p.m. one. Not next week. It's going to be 11 a.m. next week and then 6 p.m. the week after. Rotten Ralph says, you have to figure out what is the best treat for your crows. Yeah. We were reporting back and it'd be like, look, I've made friends with the Jurassic pigeons. They scare me. That one was huge. That one was actually a chicken. It was huge. Like a big chicken as well. Like, I know you can get little chickens. This was a big chicken. Yeah, just checking that I'm sewing this the right way. What did we get to with the chat? Ron Ralph says we had a museum membership just for the butterfly pavilion attached. It was magical. Yeah, I need to have a look and see what's their closing day this year, because I want to do the same thing, because I think it's like it's expensive to go, and then on the very last day of the season it was £5, and it was just like, yeah, let's go do the thing. So yeah. Susan says the crows in South Sea here are the doms of all the birds. I have fed 3 generations, no gifts, but highly entertaining. Nice. Darshana says crows just remind me of the film The Birds. Oh, I've never seen it. I've never seen it. Hitchcock, right? I know Amber from Forever Amber did a Halloween costume around the birds with an amazing suit, and then she had like some crows on like faux crows on wire all around her. It was a really clever costume. Caroline says to Susan, where in Southsea? My nana's was in Manor Road. And Yvonne says, hi everyone, just joined. We'll catch the beginning later. Hope everyone's well. Can't sew for a week since I've just broken my humerus at the top. Ouchie, badly bruised ribs as well. Oh, you poor thing. I hope you get better soon. Olivia says, oh my gosh, I love the birds. Yes, Hitchcock. Doesn't appeal. Very much doesn't appeal. Ralph says, I just have vultures and sunbirds here. Everywhere else is waterfowl, ducks, sandhills, herons, egrets of all of the waterbirds. Ooh, nice. Susan says, I'm on the seafront near the coffee cup. And Caroline says, nice to Susan. Ralph says, Yvonne, that's terrible. Yes, you poor thing. I'm glad we can keep you company whilst you are convalescing. You guys, I'm so excited about getting fabric out and fondling fabric. I have issues. We know I have issues though, don't we? Okay, so I've got 3 more seams to do. Let's see. How do we do? How are we doing? How are we doing? Is the consensus for fabric fondling once I've done this sewing? Because I know I'm waffling a lot today. That's because it's just us. Yvonne says, annoyingly, I have a heather blazer almost finished. Will be a couple of weeks though now. Oh no! Can you knit? Do you knit? Would you be interested in learning to knit? Yvonne says, love your dress, Shan. Fabric fondling, yes. Thank you very much. I'm so happy with how this one turned out. I'm so glad that I waited so long to work out what to do with these fabrics as well. And I do have enough left for a top, even though I don't wear tops very often. Oh! Mum's calling. 2 secs, because that's massively interrupted everything that's going on there as well. Hi! Okay. I've put the things I need on the list. Please, may I have some extra sweet strawberries if you see them? Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay. Bye. They're off to the tip. Oh! Buttons is awake. He's just woken up. Clearly he did have a late night. Mim says, team fabric fondling. Yes, this is good. Let's get these skirts done then, and we will fondle the fabric. And I'll show you, I mean, I think I've shown you guys this collection before, but I'll show you, because there's, like I said, there's a few that I want to add in, and we'll talk through why I want to add those in. Rotten Ralph says, I enjoy fabric fondling. This is good, because a lot of it does happen on this channel. A lot. There is an inordinate amount of fabric fondling. Yeah, man. Why have you got now, Black? Oh, another one of the rules, apparently, that people get looked down for is, apparently, if you're a proper seamstress, you don't use pins very often. I mean, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I use them when I want them and when I need them. It's just like, I didn't realize that that was a rule that we had to adhere to. You must use specific amounts or no pins if you want to be considered a proper seamstress. Never heard that one before. I know in factory settings that pins are rarely used, and that, you know, like, not one person is not making an entire garment. They tend to do stages in that garment and just do that on repeat and then move it along. So like batch sewing or, you know, factory setting sewing is very different to home construction. And I know pins are not necessarily always used in factory settings, but I did think that that was a bit of an odd one. Okay, lining has been preliminarily French seamed. Oh, right. So now we have the back, and then we have, there we go. So we need the pattern piece, and that is the center back. Run out of orange pins. Oh no, I've got another orange pins. Okay. Because you see, we split them up. Mum has the orange and yellow, and I have the green and white, although I seem to have quite a lot of yellow over here. And then I have a few orange pins, which, because my orange pins indicate the back or stop when I'm sewing. And that is definitely the centre back. It is. So you can take it off the pattern piece and put that there. Okay. Darshana says Hitchcock film. Nimoy says, I always loved a fabric fondle. I also have more tea and muffin to consume before going back to actual work. I got a lot of crochet done, but working with thin thread and fairly high tension means I also have a groove in my finger now. Darshana says, I'd say you are a proper seamstress if your garments or makes get completed and are usable. Yeah. Laurel says, inordinate amounts of fabric fondling? Hardly. The amount of fabric fondling is perfectly ordinate. Yeah. Darshana says, agreed, Laurel. And Faye says, hello, peeps. Hi, Faye. How are you? And Mary Ellen says, never thought about using my pins to colour code pieces. It's just what works for my brain. So orange for me means centre back, and also, like I say, stop, because I don't have very many orange pins, because we've got, between Mum and I, we've got 4 sets of these, and I know they're quilting pins and that's going to piss some people off, but honestly, I find them fine. For rayon, I use them. I know they're thick. I know I've got silk pins. I do use silk pins for silk sewing, but for rayon, I found that these are fine. But yeah, so my green is my center front seam, and then the orange is the center back seam, and then yellow is my side seams, and that's just my color coordinated way of, you know, like, because sometimes I won't have the pattern piece still attached to the fabric when I've cut it out, but if I put the pin in it or a little note on it, that's what I did with my I'm gonna have a little bit of the selvage on the skirt. I don't think that's going to 100% get sucked up into the seam. Never mind. Yeah, I or like either give myself a note. I mean, I know there's notches, and the notches do match up, obviously. Got the double notches for the side seams here, but it just helps, especially when there's a center front and a center back seam. It just helps for my brain. Faye says, I'm good, thanks for asking. I love the idea of color coding pins. Oh, awesome. Yeah, it's just a little tip that works for me. A little tip. Little tip. Faye, when is your birthday party in October? I know it's October. I need to let Buttons know so he can book that weekend off so that we can come, because we are coming. It's going to be awesome. And knowing my luck, it will be the weekend of his brother's wedding or something. So I will come without him. Darshana says, I agree. I think I will add the color coding pins and clips. Maybe I'll add special nail polish to them. Yeah, do like whichever way works for you. Like for me, like if I had bright red pins, they would be my back and my stop, but I've got orange, so that's, you know, that's the one that works. So I'm using a butt ton of pins in this one, even though that technically, apparently, according to some people, makes me a bad seamstress, but this is a slightly biased seam with a slippery fabric that I want to behave itself. So yeah, I'm not taking any chances. And again, I should be pinning technically on a flat surface. And I'm not, I'm pinning in my lap. Don't do as I am doing, do as I say. But do whatever works for you. Like when you're pinning on your lap like this, things can get out of whack, especially with slightly biased seams. So what I will do is I'll pin where the notches are, I'll pin at the top down to the notch, and I'll pin from the bottom up, and then make sure that everything is lining up. Because if you pin all the way down, you can stretch one side out more than the other, and you don't want that. So, you know, technically they do go together, but fabric on the bias does stretch a bit, and this is cut on the bias. So yeah. Mary Ellen says, I need a cheat sheet for the first 3 months till it gets ingrained in my brain. Good plan. Like when I do my retreats, I always say to people, you know, have a play around with your construction stitch length, your top stitching length, on different fabrics if you're using different fabrics. If you're using 4 layers of vinyl for some pieces and then you're using fabric for other pieces, you might want to have different top stitching lengths for fabric and different top stitching lengths for the vinyl, and play around with all of those things. And once you've worked out what you like the look of, write it down and put it on a sticky note on your machine, so that, because we sew over 3 days, so when you come back after day 2, I can say construction stitch length for vinyl, and you'll be like, haha, it's on my sticky note. And it might change from project to project. It might be exactly the same thing that you use over and over again. Like if you're doing the Sorrento jacket, for example, that we've been talking about today, which is half price at the moment, highly recommend if you don't already have, just for that pattern alone. But the other ones are good. Although I haven't made them up yet, but lots of other people have. Then what was I saying? See, this is the thing. Write it down, stick it to your, write it down and stick it to the thing. So like top stitching lengths on fabrics like denims. And if you're switching between, if you don't have the luxury of having 2 machines and one set up for top stitching, one set up for sewing, then write down the top stitching length that you've been using. For me, for denim, it was like 3.5 and it looked really good. So yeah, highly, especially if the project's going to take more than a day, or if some, you know, like it's going to take 1 weekend and then you have to come back to it the next weekend, put it on a post-it note. Same with your needle. If you've put a new needle in and you don't use your machine every single day and you won't remember what needle you've got in there, write a post-it note, stick it on the front of your machine. You've got 70 needle put on at this date. Like, I know they've got a color-coded system. I have taken a photo of the color-coded system. That very much helps. But it's also, you know, cheat sheet right in front of you. Post-it notes, definitely a sewing room requirement. Whatever works and whatever makes your job easier. Little flowers on this have got a salmony pink colour. That cardigan that Mum's knitting for me at the moment, which is called Shrimp, the colour, it's going to look quite pretty with this, I think. Faye says, I'm thinking I might get an Airbnb, so if you need somewhere to stay, let me know and I'll get one with an extra room. Ooh, yeah, we will. Would it be all right if I brought a boy? Please. And she says, I'm still finalising things. At the moment, I have it penciled on the 6th, 7th and 8th of October. Awesome. Let's just... Are you free the 6th, 7th, 8th October this year? Watch him turn around and tell me it's his brother's wedding weekend. That would be hilarious. Catherine says, I think it's more accurate. What's that, with pins? Yeah. That's why I was surprised when this person was just like, apparently people look down on you if you use pins when you're sewing. Like, Faye says, of course, yay. Nimoy says, the sticky note is a really good idea if you then remember that you were to do something different for the top stitching in the first place. No, I didn't forget that at all. Why would you? Why would you ask? Yeah, I do try to remember when I'm doing retreats to be like, and this bit you're doing at your top stitching length, this bit you're doing at the construction stitch length, etc., etc. Faye says, I'm thinking axe throwing. Well, I'll be terrible at that. I have like 0 depth perception. I can't throw anything. That'll be hilarious. It's your birthday. We can do whatever you want. Chat's gone really quiet again. Squash. The drugs have just about kicked in. Kind of. Nimue says, a lot of us were going at very different speeds last year. I tried to pay attention to all your helpful tips, but with all the chatting, by the time I got there, sieve brain. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's really easy to kind of like get distracted and just go off piece and do the thing and then be like, oh, that wasn't the thing that I was meant to do. Okay, one more seam and then fabric fondling. Yay! Okay, we'll see how much of the selvage is going to end up in the final dress from this one. I think a little bit of it. But I mean, whilst it's not a hugely full skirt, it's a full enough skirt that I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue. I want to use my bright yellow bias binding for this, but I can't because the fabric's so see-through. It's really obvious. Now that can come out because it's obviously the centre back seam, so I don't need those in there anymore. So I'm thinking I'm going to use white because that's probably going to be the least, I mean, it's going to be visible because like this fabric is just that sheer, but it'll be fine. It'll be fun. Well, the chat's really quieting down. Are you guys all sewing on your own, doing your own things now? I've been waffling at you for 3 hours. That's a lot of waffle. Noah says, I got a perfectly functional and pretty bag out of it. It's my dry weather bag because I don't want to rely on the canvas and quilting cotton when it's rainy. Vinyl and neoprene for the next one. Ooh. Nice. Ralph says, I end up getting my sticky notes laminated. Oh, nice. And Sue says, just come back from putting the washing out. Very productive of you. We're going to do some fabric fondling in a minute. Laurel says, making sure my bias tape joins are going the same way. Oh, that's very I don't know if I even try and prioritize that. Movie says, hi, I'm searching for a dress pattern to make. It needs to be like the one I tried from the store, but that one did not fit right. Have you got photos of the style you're after? Sue says 2.5 meters from Think Pink box washed. Nice. Oh, was that the lemon one this month? Is it the lemon one? Dasha says she's working. Oh, did you? Are you going to come to one of the Zoom calls? Was it the lemons this month? I think it was lemons, wasn't it? That was the other fabric I put in my stash. Mind you, maybe I should just get 10 meters. No, I'm not going to do this because I can't afford fabric at the moment. I need to behave. But the Sherwood sale, the 50% off, there's 10 meters of that royal blue Dupioni silk. Because I was going to get another 5 meters of the lemons, the black lemons, and make another dress that fits me now because my other one is too big for me now. But maybe I should just get 10 meters of the silk. I'm not going to do it because I don't need the silk. And although I have a dress that I want to make, I have in mind to do with that, I don't need it. So no. Mary Ellen says, I'm going to sew in new elastic on a pair of shorts on my newly acquired Singer Featherweight 221 for free. Nice. Sue says, no, but did get lemon fabric made up. That was last month's, Sean. Oh, wow. What was this month's one? Wilmeen says, midi dress, button down, only the stand-up of a collar, and I had a belt in the same fabric around the waist. Dolman sleeve style just over my upper arm. Ooh. Okay. Oh, how about there's a McCall's one. You'd have to add the stand collar because it doesn't have that. Right, how much of this selvage is going to be? Oh, not too much. We have a little bit of the selvage in the skirt, but I wanted the fullness of the skirt, or as full as I could get it. So, you know, we're going to live with it. Oh, it's so pretty. So pretty. Two secs. Wayne, there is a McCall's one that immediately comes to mind. Yeah. Obviously, they don't have to be quite this full. They could be like you could crop the sleeves a little bit more, and you'd have to add the stand collar, but that's easy enough to do. That one could work. That's the 8083. Oh, someone was making that one earlier. Right. Shall we fondle the fabric? Shall we fondle the fabric? Slightly flared skirt. Darshna says, "How do I join a Zoom call? Where are they?" Oh, it's only for the $10 and $15 Patreon peeps. Sorry, I thought you were in the Patreon peeps already. They are every Tuesday, and you don't have to join. You could do 1 month if you wanted to just do one where we sort of go through your some fabrics, put together a collection for you. That could be quite a fun little one to do. And then again, like you only need to sign up for 1 month, and there's 4 calls in that 1 month, if that would be good for you. And then you can either drop down to the $2 tier or just completely cancel. Laurel says, "Not being fancy, it's just that there is no wrong side to this fabric, so I want the seam allowance all on the same side." Ah, yes. Sue says, "I don't think we can say just yet." Oh, you don't know yet. Ah, okay. Nimoy says, "I'll have to save the fabric fondling for the evening and go do some work. Have a lot of fun and a lovely week, everyone. Thank you. See you Tuesday, Shan." Yes, see you Tuesday, Nimoy. Sue says, "I've put the lemon top on Facebook." Ooh, nice. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Sorry, I got distracted. Groups. Peeps. Kitty! Oh, that's so pretty. So over it. Penny top. That looks really cool. That looks really, really cool. Yeah, like that. Right. Okay. So my Paul Smith suiting. I got this. In fact, I think I have 5 meters of this because I got 2.5 meter cuts from the half price sale. It's really nice and lightweight. It's a wool based suiting. I think it's 100% wool. I'm going to hopefully make some trousers, a waistcoat, and a skirt out of the 5 meters. Maybe a half circle skirt, if I could get it, a 3/4 circle skirt. But yeah, that's going to go in with the anaconda antithesis. And this is the thing. I can very easily like add millions of things up and add millions of things to these collections really, really easily. But I'm trying to limit it to what I can fit in a cubby hole. So that navy suiting is going to go in there. I'm waiting for that now. Because I've taken out the brown t-shirt materials because they weren't the right colors for me, and they're much better colors for mum. So the whole basis for this collection, as I've said, is the anaconda antithesis print. And I have it in the buttermilk version, which I showed you earlier, and I will show you again. But I also have it in the blue. Ooh. Ooh, this stripe is making my eyeballs hurt. Right. So I've got them from darkest to lightest, so I'm just turning everything over. So this is the starting print. So this is the Lena crepe or the Lena lining. My best friend bought me 4 meters of this for my for Christmas a couple of years ago now. I am going to use this for a floaty 5-panel circle skirt, and then whatever I've got left will line like the Paul Smith waistcoat, like the waistcoat from the suiting. And because it's slippery fabric, but it's not like super slippery, which is why I was saying earlier, if you get this for lining a coat, you want to get the lotus lining for the sleeves. They have got this in the sale at the moment, and I am tempted to buy some more of it to line my navy hemispheric coat, which I would like to be part of this collection as well. although I do have that amazing lining that Rachel gave me for Christmas with the leaves on it, although that I can imagine using for a green coat. But yeah, so this has got the deep navy in it. Obviously the beautiful background, it's got the deep navy, it's got like the buttery colors, there's greens, there's creams. The background of this is a really good color for me. It is part of my color wheel. So yeah, so we've got the blue there. I think it's a really good match for this one. And then we've also got kind of like the purpley ones in there. And then when she was doing my colors, she added in these ones. Oh, sorry, navy. This kind of like richer blue is good for me as well as this one. And then she added in like a true navy, which you can't quite see there. But these are all autumn colors, but these are autumn colors that look good on my skin. So that's what I do. For me, that's how in my brain these kind of collections work. And so I'll pick a print. And one of the reasons I love Lady McElroy is because they'll do a print like this, and then they'll do it on the denim and then the cotton lawn as well. So I have this blue colorway, and this is the dawn, and there's also a dusk one which has got redder pieces in it. I prefer this colorway with the kind of like yellowy rather than the reddy kind of bits in it. It's just my preference. So I've got the Lena crepe, the denim, and then I've got the cotton lawn in two colorways. I've got the blue and the buttermilk. They also did it in a sage green, which I did try and buy, and it's sold out everywhere, which is really sad. So for me, I'll then use those prints as my base and then start pulling other fabrics from my stash that go with it. So I've got this Darlydale denim, again, Lady McElroy. It's kind of like a geode, or I think, Nimue, you said it looked like a nebula, but I actually think rocks when I see this one. And my 9345 video where I made 5 pieces from one pattern, the skirt, that button-up skirt that I made from that dark denim that Claire gave me would be perfect with this if it fit me still, but it's too big for me. And I'm not going to take it in because it fits Mum really well as it is. So Mum's got that in her wardrobe for autumn winter. So I am looking again for some dark denim. The only thing that I've kept from that fabric is I've got the waistcoat in my future-proof box. Mum's got the skirt, but I've still got the Sorrento. So I would like a plain dark denim again to make myself another skirt, but I am going to make myself a skirt with this one, and I actually quite like these two together. So I'm going to make a button-up skirt and a waistcoat out of this. Yes, I'm making separates. I am going to be making a dress from this, and it probably, I think I've got 4 meters of this. Charlotte gave me a voucher, so I bought 3 fabrics with that voucher for my birthday. So I think I've got 4 meters of this one. So I think this is going to be the 9345 shirt. And I think it's probably going to be a sleeveless one. And then if I have enough left to make a little cropped top or shirt, I'll make that too. But I would wear these two together. And so this skirt will be, the skirt on this will be long enough. It'll be 2 inches longer than the skirt length of all of the other dresses, so that whilst this, yes, this will be a dress, I can wear it as a shirt with this over the top. That's the plan. So I think this is absolutely gorgeous. But I do think it goes really well. Even though these are prints, I like these two together. I think that goes really well. And then I just went through my Viscose jerseys and took out everything that went with the colours from the print. So I've got this kind of denim blue, and I'm going to make a couple of t-shirts from this. Very likely it's going to be a gable tee, because I really like that style on me, and I can imagine wearing this with that denim skirt, and I think that would look really, really nice together. I can also imagine wearing the gable tee under this sleeveless shirt with then a cardigan over the top, because the gable will come up across the top there. Maybe I'll make a roll neck one. I do like the Paola tee. I just need to size it down because the size is too big for me now. So possibly I might make a Paola out of this to wear under this. I think that would look really nice together, and again adds a layer of warmth. This, for me, in my head, this is kind of reading autumn into winter collection, although some of these are going to be very summery pieces because this is going to be a sleeveless shirt dress. But we all know that I like to layer these pieces up in the winter so that I can wear them in the winter. So yeah, this is going to be a couple of t-shirts, and again, just cotton jersey. No, Viscose jersey that I got from Minerva. They don't have it anymore, so I can't link it for you. So again, I went through and pulled out the browns that I got in my stash as well, but the browns were all really much more autumn colors. They weren't the browns that I had here, these kind of like this kind of like coffee tone. And then also I do have other browns. These kind of, they weren't these sorts of tones, but these again I think would look really good with this. So I do have, whilst I'm not putting it in, this Brielle suiting I think will also look really good with this, which is why I have a skirt from this that still fits. Mum's got the waistcoat, so I do think that I can imagine wearing the dress again with the skirt, although the skirt I didn't do that extra 2 inches long, but I can imagine the little top that I'm hopefully going to make from the excess of this going with the skirt and also the trousers. And so it's not just a collection that only goes with itself, it's going to be works into other parts of the wardrobe as well. That's the plan. William says, oh, thank you all for the snug chub rub pants. Snag chub rub pants, they're amazing. Oh, awesome. Really cool. Yay. And William says the 8083, they are cute. I think it would be really easy for you to add a little stand collar to that as well. So that could work. Mim says, yes, fabrics. Yeah, fabric. Julia Elizabeth says, duty calls. I must away and drive everyone everywhere. Have a great day all. You too. I'm getting croaky in the voice. Oh, I can update my Gertie catalogue. Catalogue, calendar. Words are hard. So we had a jumpsuit with a little hattie. July, we've got the swimsuit. I love this on everybody else. I'm never going to make this for myself. I'd want to try one on before I would go with that much volume around my hips. Sue says, Andrea likes us to wait just in case people haven't received theirs yet, but Ruan has shared hers on YouTube. Ooh, I will have to have a look. Darshana says, no, I mean, I keep meaning to join. There you go. If you, I mean, I really love that idea, Darshana. And if anybody else who's in the Patreon peeps wants to do a Zoom call where we kind of like have a look at some fabrics of yours and maybe put together collections, that would be very, very fun. Could do that. So yeah, Danny says, got to leave now, but thanks for the company. Thank you for joining us. Rotten Ralph says, nicely done for the lemon top. It's really pretty, isn't it? Sue says, I thank you. It was a struggle because I didn't realize I'd dropped a page out of the instruction booklet. Oh no. Rotten Ralph says, love that blue. Susan says, sorry if you've been asked this, but who has done your color matching? Would love to get mine done. All about the outfit. Nicola, and she does do it online now as well. Highly recommend. She is amazing. All about the outfit. She's on the Isle of Wight. But like I say, she will do it online if you want to do online. And she does travel all over the UK as well, if you happen to be in the UK. So I highly recommend. Tell her I sent you. Erin says, hi Shan, did you ever create a video dedicated to having your colours done? I put it in the month of separates video, so it was in there. Nicola and she messaged me Again, I've been a bit pants this year. Again, crisis of confidence and not wanting, like, having nothing that fit, and kind of having my shape change and stuff. Like, I um, I didn't want to do a whole styling session when I didn't really have like anything in my wardrobe like I wanted to style. But yeah, we're going to try and do another video in September about styling stuff, which would be really cool. Mim says, wow, the blue nebula rock fabric is so beautiful. I know, I'm so sorry they don't have it anymore. It's really awesome. Like, I asked if they had it when I went up there, and they're like, no, sorry, we don't. And then they rang me about later that afternoon and said, found some, mine, give me. Olivia says, heading out with hubby. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Enjoy, Olivia. And Darshana says, enjoy, Olivia. Darshana says, defo inspiring me to pull out all my fabrics. Yeah. Mim says, my favourite pinafore pattern is the McCall's 7626. Can see the blue Lady McElroy Cobra corsage in it. Ooh. Ooh, possibly. Anyway, right. So now we've gone through the darkest pieces. We've got, like I say, the Cotton Lawn of the Dawn colorway, which is going to be a shirt dress because it just is. Sorry, I'm not sorry. Now, is it going to be a shirt dress? Is it going to be a shirt dress? Because I do have, as I say, the denim, and I'm going to make this into a pinafore dress. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So, this is going to be a button-up dress, which I can... So the reason I wanted this to be a shirt dress is so that I could wear it with my the skirt and the shirt, and yeah, so I do want a shirt out of this. Maybe this needs to be like a grace dress, and then this one be the pinafore with button up. It won't have a collar on it. Yeah, I think this one's going to be the collarless pinafore dress, probably the 9345, because I really like that pattern and I really like that shape. So that's going to be that. So this Cotton Lawn, because I've got the buttermilk Cotton Lawn, which I want to do an 8577 in, and I don't care, I want it, so I'm going to do it. This one, because I've got 4 meters of this, maybe this one could be like a grace dress with a tiered and gathered skirt. And then a little shirt to go over the top. Or maybe this could have like the panelled skirt or 3/4 skirt with a little shirt to go over the top, and then the shirt can go with the other pieces as well. Maybe, yeah, that could work. That could work. Sue says, thank you. I can pop over to the island. Oh, awesome. But yeah, Nicola's amazing. And like I say, she's getting booked up through till September. So you need to call in soon and tell her I sent you. Mim says, I also want a Zoom call. So the Zoom calls are part of Patreon. They are for the $10 and $15 tiers. It's a Zoom call every Tuesday, but it will be at different times on each Tuesday for me. So I'm doing 11 a.m., 6 p.m., and 11 p.m. my time. There might be another time that gets added in, but I'm going to do it every Tuesday, like rotating those times. So hopefully it works at some point for everybody that's in Patreon to join at least one a month. And they're only 40 minutes long because that's as long as Zoom will allow me without having to pay for a subscription. But if lots of people take it up, I'm very happy to pay for a subscription and sit and chat with you guys whilst we sew on a Tuesday morning, evening, afternoon. But if you want to do it for a specific reason, you can sign up to Patreon for that tier for a month and pay for that month, and then you get the benefits from that month for that full month. And then if you don't want to continue, you just stop and cancel, and that way you've had your month, you've had your Zoom call. Or you can drop down to a different tier if you want, or you can stay at that tier and just carry on chatting with us every Tuesday if you would like. There is many options. But yes, the Zoom calls are a Patreon benefit. Joe's here. Hey peeps, just popping in to say hi, but I have to go again. Hope you're all keeping well. Very well, thank you, Joe. How are you? Yeah, I think something like the grey dress with a little shirt to go over the top of it. And like I say, I think I have 4 meters of this one because I think I bought it as a remnant. So that's what that one's going to be. And if they bring this print out on Viscose, I am totally going to buy some more. So like I say, my friend bought me this one for my birthday, no, Christmas. I've got 4 meters of it. It's going to be the 5-panel circle skirt with a viscose lining, so won't have polyester right next to my skin. And then whatever's left will get used for waistcoat linings. So, and this one's going to be a 5-panel circle skirt because it's nice and floaty. And it's floatier than the other fabrics that I've got in there. And so next one we've got is this Robert Kaufman brushed cotton, which is the softest thing ever. I bought this specifically to be a Brouillet shirt, and I think it is going to be that. I think this would look really, really nice with that marble print denim tucked in. I also want to make some skinny jeans or leggings that will go with this collection. And the Brouillet shirt obviously has kind of like the fitted waist and then the peplum that goes over the top. It won't work to be tucked into skinny jeans, which is the only downside. And I was thinking about just making like a melilo or something like a slouchy shirt in this one, but I do think I would prefer it to be the Brouillet, and it works really nicely with the print. I think, especially if I put, they're quite, the thing with this is it's a large check and it's a large print. But I think if I put a chunky dark brown belt on and my brown boots and then the brown cardigan that Mum's knitting for me, I think that these will work together. I think I can make it work. And if not, the checks will go with all of the plains that I've got in here as well. This is the Robert Kaufman eye hurty and incredibly expensive. I think it was like £30 a meter stretch denim. It's got more than enough stretch for the ginger jeans. I want to make some, I've always wanted a pair of skinny jeans that are this kind of stripe. I bought some from Next. They were not the right shape or size for me and ended up going back, but I really like those. And again, I think it goes really well with the print because it's a stripe. Stripes go well with everything. Which is why I've got some more stripe shirting. I got this from Oya Textiles. Again, I have exactly the right amount to make a Brouillet shirt, which is probably what that is going to end up being. And again, I think it looks really nice with the print. So that's where that one went from. And then again, checks, stripes, and spots are good with everything. Then I have a couple of chambrays that I just had left over from making other things. I think one of these has been a Brouillet, one of these has been a dress. This is the Brouillet, this was the dress. I've got a little bit left over of both of these, so it's going to be some kind of shirt or top. And again, it's because that's all the fabric I have left, but it goes really well with the colors in the print. I've got some more jersey. Again, it's a really nice blue, goes really well with the print. So it was just literally picking out colors from the print and trying to pair them in with the fabrics. And again, 2 meters of that, so it's going to be a couple of t-shirts. I really like the wanted tee, I like the gable, I like the cow neck tee. Powler is really nice, so it's going to be some kind of a t-shirt. This is the buttermilk version of the print, so it is a bone kind of coloured background, which I do think I can get away with. It might be a little bit more muted. Yeah, this is brighter, isn't it? It is a little bit more muted maybe than I necessarily should be wearing right next to my skin. But as I said earlier, I'm going to break out. Here we go. There we go. It's like a coffee kind of colour. Again, this one's a little bit more warmth in it. This is a little cooler than maybe I should be going for. But I am going to get myself that chunky gold necklace. And I think I'm going to do an 8577 with this because I love that dress and I wear it frequently. I've got 5 meters of this, so I can also get a little shirt out of it as well. So both of those are going to have V-necks. And with the really chunky gold around here, I think it'll work. It'll look really nice. Mum is knitting me a dark brown cardigan as well. I mean, I need support. She knows she is because I double checked with her when I was buying the wool if it was all right for me to have a dark brown, because I know she doesn't overly love knitting with dark brown colours. And so she's like, yes, it's fine. Then this is the suiting I was talking about with the texture on it. And I've made a waistcoat, a skirt, and a dress out of this. And I love this stuff. It's rayon mixed suiting from Lady McElroy. They don't do it anymore. Very sorry. I've got 13 meters of it because I bought a 10-meter bolt and then this. So I've got 3 meters here. It's dyeable because it is a natural fiber. So I am going to make a Bianca Jagger style suit out of this. Mum has my skirt and my waistcoat because neither of those fit me anymore. The dress does fit me. I did make the dress after watching a lot of Morgan Donna with the idea of wearing things underneath of the dress. And it works with t-shirts and sort of thin jumpers, but it doesn't really work with shirts because the dress has got a V-neck at the back and the shirt's kind of poof over the top. So it wasn't, I should have raised the back up. I wasn't really thinking. I was kind of just jumping in gung-ho, and I should have thought about it a little bit more. But I'm not going to remake the dress because it's beautiful as it is. But yeah, this stuff is also dyeable, which is why I bought so much of it. So it's going to be a Bianca Jagger style suit made. Wide leg trousers, a waistcoat, and a cropped jacket, not exactly the same as Bianca Jagger. And then I'm also going to do a full 3/4 circle skirt with this because the skirt that I made, as I say, Mum has, and it was very narrow. And whilst it's lovely, it's not really my style. I prefer the fuller skirts. So that's what's going to happen with that one. And then the last little bit of t-shirting fabric is this cream marl, which is a really good color for me. So I'm going to make some t-shirts out of that. And then, if that's not enough, I have got this, which does perfectly match one of the leaf colors in the blue. And I got this from Textile Express. It's Viscose. Got 3 meters of it. It's very kind of Pretty Woman. And I actually was thinking about making a very Pretty Woman at the polo dress out of this. But I think what I want to do is make a top and a skirt, because I can imagine wearing the top with a lot of those other pieces. And then I can imagine wearing the skirt with a lot of those other pieces. So that one's going to go in with that collection as well to bring in some more of this warmer chestnutty brown colour. And I do have a green gingham and a green stripe that would work as well with the greens from the leaves of the print. But I am going to put the brown back there because I do like that lot of cream and blue together, and I think putting the brown in will just be a bit jarring. So that is kind of my thought process behind how I put a collection together. And I have written out the fabrics and then written out what I want to make from them. And I am trying to think about, as I say, not just making a bunch of dresses, but trying to make things that would then work together. And the blue denim dress that I made for the 9345 collection is going to go really well with this, and it would look really good under the pinafore dress that I want to make from the denim bit of the print that I've got. It would also then go really well with the denim skirt and the waistcoat. It would go really well with the cream skirt as long as I align it well enough so that the cream skirt isn't see-through. So I'm trying to think of how other bits and pieces will work in with it, and then what I wear, as Sarah said earlier, like does, knowing that I don't really wear separates, does that alter how I make things? And yes, it does. That's why I'm thinking as much of this as I can turn into dresses as possible, I will, and then I will have some strategic layering pieces that I can wear over the dress to make the dress look like a top. so that I end up with something that I wear more often than if it was just a shirt. That's the theory. Let's see if it works. And as I say, I really, really, really hope that they bring that print out on Viscose, because I would buy a bunch of it and make pirate shirts, or like big billowy sleeve shirts, because I think those shirts look better in a fabric that is drapier. Although I do want to try a pirate shirt in a cotton lawn and see how that works out. And I do have a couple of fabrics down there that I think could work for that. So yeah. Where did I get to with the chat? Faye says, I'm off to plant some plants in my pond. Nice, enjoy. Jojo says, I'm going to message Nicola in a bit and book for later in the year, because I thought to save doing the online sesh, I can book it for the week when I'm over on the island. What do you think? Of course. Yes, that would be awesome. Definitely do that. Laurel says, woohoo, just won a game of spool roulette. Always good. Rotten Mouse says, Laurel, always a win. Darshna says, damn, workhorse going to have to catch back for fabric show and tell. Ooh, what plants, Faye? And Faye, sorry, autocorrect. It made her into Fayad, Faye with an E, and then Faye, the correct way. Jojo says, aha, I immediately thought Pretty Woman on seeing the spot viscose. Yes. And that's why I'm thinking with that one, I want to make a top and a skirt because it will look like a dress. I'm thinking one of the cowl neck tops and then a 3/4 circle skirt so that I can wear them together and it will look like a dress, but I can wear them separately. And I can imagine that I will wear those spots with the some of the pieces from this as well. That's what I'm thinking. And Darshana says, I guess the dress will be like a petticoat. Yeah, exactly. And again, that was a tip that I got from Rachel Maxey. She wears a lot of her more modern dresses that she really likes the top of, but they're all too short for her taste. So she wears them as tops. And I was just like, well, I can do that. And then I make stuff. So as long as I make all of my kind of like skirts in this series 2 inches longer than I usually do, and I like that length on me, then all of my dresses, which are 2 inches shorter, won't peek out at the bottom. That's the plan. That's the plan. Not even, I mean, if it's the right colour, it's not even bad if it peeks out at the bottom. But yeah, that is the plan. Right, I've been waffling at you for 3.5 hours. I've still got a lot of trimming and pressing to do for these French seams, so I think I'm going to get on and get that done. But thank you very much for hanging out with me, you guys. It's been very fun, and actual sewing's happened, and then also fabric fondling. We always enjoy a little fabric fondling, don't we? So yeah. I am, like I say, planning on having the June lookbook come out on Tuesday. The July plans come out on Friday. There will be a hangout on the Sunday. There's going to be a Zoom call for the $10 and $15 peeps on Tuesday evening, which is 11 p.m. And yeah, that's what I'm planning. So I've not really got back into doing shorts. Probably ought to get back into the getting dressed down here thing. I probably ought to do that. Yeah, I ought to do that. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you very much for hanging out with me for so long and listening to me waffle today. And yeah, if you do book anything with Nicola, let her know that I sent you. And words are hard, apparently. Yes, no, I've very much enjoyed this afternoon. Thank you very much. And I will see you all next week for another hangout with a boy. There will be a boy here next weekend. So it won't be quite so long as this one, but it will be there. So I shall see you all then. Bye.